Fucked it up.
We have the best intro of all time,
I know.
just because like one
I
day we'll get it
screwed it
perfect.
right up too. I always screw it up.
No, but
It's
that's part
okay.
of the intro, I feel.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is.
All right. Hey guys, through the fingers pod. What are we on, like 41 or something?
Yeah, 41, I believe.
Beautiful. We're here with Josh Devoe. I'll let him introduce himself, kind of explain what he does, because he does it better than I do.
Well, I'm Josh Devoe. I own Misfit Strength and Performance. I'm a strength and conditioning coach, ex-powerlifter turned arm wrestler. Been arm wrestling now, I don't know, off and on for 4 years, but in the last year, I've really started taking it seriously. And yeah, I coach
I'm on a pod.
anywhere world champion athletes to people in recovery with hip replacements, knee replacements, and everything in between. Been doing that now about 10 years, and then I do that on side of my regular job. So I'm just leaving my regular job now. That's why I'm in my truck.
Sweet, sweet.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So how's the training been going? You know, I was following you for a while there. Looked like you're getting pretty
Training's been
beastly.
going good. I had a snap surgery right before provincials. It was supposed to be a little bit after. So I kind of like dialed it back from there, got rid of some old leg injuries, and just been kind of working in silence with the upcoming season. And, hoping
Nice.
to bring a little bit more to the table than I did last year.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Last year was a write-off for me, so I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
I don't know what it
lifting too
was, but
much.
like I worked 7 on, 7 off. Yeah, the same. Yeah. I remember you talking about that
Yeah, well,
when I
you
when
got to
I
be
switched coach.
focused.
Yeah, man. When I switched coaches, it changed everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
so
know,
tell us about that a little bit.
yeah. You were training with Giannis, I know that, weren't you?
Yeah, I still am. Yeah, I
Yeah,
still
yeah.
have been now. It's been going on a year. I've learned so much from him when it just comes to like arm wrestling, why you do what the injuries are caused from, how to fix them. Like the dude, like legit, when people call him the Jedi, like that dude's smart, like
Yeah, oh,
incredibly. And he's just like a good dude. We talk a lot, and he explains things to me, and he's like always in my corner. I take that knowledge and I pass it on to pretty much anyone I meet, like everyone through the club, anyone that walks through the door, I help them with any way I can. So
right on. Yeah, I do the same. I took a little break. Well, my programming was probably close. I mean, I was going through Sandra's, and
yeah,
I took a little break from it just because I needed, when I started the super matches, I needed something more regular because it's kind of, my training with Sandra's is kind of like every 2 weeks, it's something totally different.
yeah,
And I really wanted to focus in on key areas and just rinse and repeat for like 2 months, the same routine, right? So
yeah.
I took a lot of what he showed me and then basically just powered it for a couple months, right? So
And honestly, that's the best way to do it. It's like learn from somebody, adopt your own training. So like
yeah,
when I got brought on by Yanis, he was very adamant about understanding what I knew about strength and conditioning coaching. And when he found out that I was a strength and conditioning coach, that I understood all those methodologies, it was a
yeah,
totally different ball game, right? So like they run like a conjugate style based training where everything changes all the time, so your
and
body doesn't adapt to it.
it shocks
And
everything. And yeah,
yeah, man, like from bands, chains, the whatever. There's a lot of stuff that I do that I don't like really post about because they like to kind of keep things to themselves, which
yeah.
is understandable. Like
Yeah.
they've created that training method for a long time, but
Hmm. Yeah, you don't want
no, it's
everybody just having it for free, you
right.
know.
It's been good, and anyone who's touched my hand, like I'm sure Dakota can vouch for that. Like it gets stronger and stronger every time.
Oh yeah,
The
man.
biggest,
No, you feel good.
yeah, the biggest issue for me was just injuries from powerlifting, like getting those sorted out and getting myself sorted out. Just like
Yeah,
stress killer, and I just had way too much going on.
yeah, your hand looks pretty strong. Yeah. for sure. I focus the hand too. I think, everything's through the hand, right? Through the
Yeah.
fingers, buddy. Through the fingers.
Really.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like with my background and what I do for work, like my hands were already strong. So like focusing on like certain points of my hand has been huge.
Yeah.
Like for me, it was my pinky and my ring finger,
Mhm.
but like now, like no issue to hold my body weight up and do pull-ups through my fingertips. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I used to struggle with I used to focus so much on the top part that the
yeah,
bottom containment I was weak, but that's gone.
yeah,
Yeah. And you can if your hand's solid, you can access your arm any way you want, you know what I mean, through
yeah,
your hand, right? So,
big time. Yeah, and like
yeah.
a lot of things that I learned from him, like the big one was like pulling through your thumb and not your wrist. So like where your thumb goes, your wrist is gonna follow, and I would always pull through my wrist like this and fucking put all the pressure in the
Then your riser gets dumped. Then you
yeah.
riser, yeah.
So like this last 6 months, we've been really focusing on like my thumb strength, and like it's getting wild.
That's
It's getting
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah. I had to stop working out of my thumb. It was getting too big. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah. I
right.
basically got a fucking drumstick going right now.
Yeah, yeah, so do I. So do
Must
I.
be
Yeah,
nice, guys. Must be
But I
nice.
have a hard time getting the problem is my thumb is so fat now that I actually have a hard time getting my fingers around my opponent. Yeah, I actually block
yes,
myself because my thumb's so big, right?
yeah. So like what I've learned to do is like straighten my hand out as much as possible when my opponent grabs it,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
flex my
And
thumb.
then flex it.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like everyone's like, man, it's like holding on to a fucking tennis ball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but it's been good. The only downfall of it was I figured through a lot of practice and stuff like that. When you practice pulling people, I do have to wear a strap because all they're doing is wrenching on my thumb all the time.
All the time. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know. Because they got a good hold on that meat, right? So
Yeah, it's the only thing they're holding on to, unless it's
yeah,
someone like Josh or like
yeah.
someone with a large hand, right?
Somebody that, yeah, it's irrelevant. They just go right
Yeah.
around anyway. Yeah. So why don't you tell us about this shell shock event? Because I'm pretty curious too. It's what, the fourth year or third year? How many years have you done it?
This is the ninth year.
Oh, ninth.
So
Oh,
shell shock
yeah.
So Shell Shock is the pound for pound strongest non-tested powerlifting event in Canadian history. I started it about 9 years ago. My uncle passed away, and then he was ex-military, so we originally designed it to be like a fundraiser, an event for PTSD. And so like it went on and went on, and just kept building and growing and growing, and then in the last, I'd say 5 years, it's like the pinnacle event. Like when we post registration sign up 6 months out, it fills up in like 12, 13 minutes flat.
Whoa. Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And then like we have athletes this year from 3 different countries, every province, even like the Yukon, Nunavut, Northwest Territories.
Nice.
It's just been getting like really good. This is unfortunately the last year for this style of event. So like now it's powerlifting. We have a kids section where like parents that do the powerlifting as kids have like a chance to like be like fake ref in front of judges and like
Yeah.
get used to it. And it's like it's really fun family event, but it's an event like for lifters put on by lifters, so it's very lifter focused. It's
Is it
not
the
like
big three? Is it the big three?
yeah, so squat, bench, deadlift,
Yeah.
and then we always have other stuff going on. So like my buddy Ian's doing a grip strength competition outside, and we used to do strongman, and then it was like this year I was like, man, I kind of wanted to start like integrating arm wrestling in just to like get the scene to
Yeah.
start moving more towards that like
Well, I think the two sports should mesh. Like they really should. Why not? I mean, they kind of both are strength related. So, well, we might have lost you, Josh. I don't know if you hit a bad area.
Okay, well, I'll talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a good idea. I mean, the grip strength would be cool too. I feel like that would correlate like with a lot of athletes. I know, like if you ask Devin and them, they don't always say grip strength is important, but it sure
Mhm.
helps still. Like being stronger at it helps. If you can contain someone with just your hand, why not, right? But
Yeah, yeah,
I think Devin and them talk about it the way they do because they always try and look for like path to least resistance workarounds, like they always talk about.
yeah.
So
Makes sense. Well,
hopefully,
well,
and then I think Shell Shock is October 5th and 6th,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
So if he gets back in here, I want to ask him
Yeah.
when the arm wrestling would be, what
It
day?
would stay, yeah, exactly.
Because that'd be interesting. Like, is he going to do it beforehand as like a let's get this show on the road kind of thing,
Well, that's
or
just it, right?
afterwards, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
And then
I wanted him to let us know about, cancellations and stuff,
yeah, talk about the
and then
matches.
yeah, see what we can do, right? So,
Yeah.
but I
So
guess I'll give him a sec. Maybe I'll send him another invite, but I'll give him a sec. But maybe I don't know, like you got any opinions on this big drama right now with WAV?
oh my god. Here's the thing. I I'm always paying attention to arm wrestling,
Me
but
too.
I feel like I'm not paying attention to the right points to talk about this.
That's fair.
Um,
That's fair.
I I like just watch people compete, and I watch for technical advantages. I want to know
Yeah.
what kind of is going on, but when I see drama, I try not to get involved
You
because,
tried to
like,
veer, yeah, you try to stay
well,
clear. Eh?
like at the end of the day, Brian, we want to be really, really good arm wrestlers, and in order to be really good arm wrestlers, we're gonna have to eventually compete in one of those leagues.
Yeah.
And you need to have an understanding on it, but also I just want to like worry about that when it comes.
No,
You
I
know what I
hear
mean?
I do hear
Because
you. I worry about the promotion end though, because you know that I'm always on the promotion
yeah,
end. So, what scares me is it's like, I bring in an athlete and I don't know he's banned, and then I risk everybody, right? So that's
well,
my only argument.
but
Yeah.
in all fairness to you, as like I saw the one thing that Engel was talking about, and he was saying that the promoter should know who is like
Sorry about that.
contracted.
No,
That's
bro.
okay. The promoter should know who's contracted and everything. But I think as much as that is an athlete's responsibility to say like, "Hey, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't," and then all of a sudden it's cut right there. It's
But at
cut.
the same time, so what? He gets banned, so now he's got to be like, I can't compete in any event ever anywhere because you know what I mean. So
Well, but I'm just saying, like, if you're
yeah,
contracted and you agreed
if
to
you're
that contract,
contracted, yeah, no, that part of it I understand. That
oh,
part I
okay,
don't
so
have an
that's what
argument.
I was talking about.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. There's
yeah,
other parts. There's deeper, bigger parts, but you're right. Maybe
there's
we shouldn't
gray
get into that.
areas.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
gray areas, right? That I
yeah,
feel like need to be resolved. But
yeah,
you know what? You know what interests me about that whole thing is I feel like there's a little bit of a separation coming. I feel like we had
yeah, yeah.
North America and Europe kind of coming together, but it seems like there's a lot of people like from the 98% arm wrestling, for example, like they're upset and they want something to change.
They're not the only ones. A lot of
No,
people are upset,
no.
buddy. Yeah.
But like, what's going to come from that? Are we going to like just
You just
slowly
ignore it. You just
whisk
got to
away
ignore it.
again? Or,
We just got to
yeah,
ignore the bans,
yeah,
right? You got to make it a them problem and not a our problem. That's really what's got to be, right?
yeah. We'll see what
But now
happens.
that Josh is back, you good now, Josh? Oh, we might have lost him again. He's frozen.
He's shy, guys, so he'll talk eventually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He's having
But
some Wi-Fi problems. Yeah.
I don't know. The other thing I think too is like, I feel like these guys just need to sit down and have an actual talk about it
I
instead of
think
going at
so.
each other
And I
on
think
Facebook.
that's
Like,
the problem is communication. It's communication.
oh,
So
100%. Because
yeah.
you know what? I've met the. I haven't really met the 98 guys, but I've talked to them enough. And like, I'm just using them as an example because they're the first one coming to mind. I know there's other people and whatever,
Mhm.
but and I've met Angan in person. Angan's an awesome dude, and I
Mhm.
feel like they just need to, sit
Well,
down because I feel like what's happening is a post is being made, and then 5 days later, a post is being made, and then
well, they
five
got
days later, Paul Italia's dropping some post. I'm like,
But
okay,
he's blaming all Ingen. Ingen, listen, how about you remove Ingen from this and you just say WAF. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because Ingen he can't help it, right? Like the people that
yeah,
run his country are heavily invested in WAF. So I mean, what's he supposed to do, right?
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. It's a tough
Oh,
one.
for sure. You know what I mean? But let's not talk about it too much. We're gonna end up banned. So
Yeah, you never know.
no, I'm just kidding. But
Well,
oh,
like I said, I got a match confirmed, but it's all the way next year in August.
well, can you announce it to everybody?
Yeah, I can. I think I can. I think I just scored a match with Sean Ross, East
Which is
Coast,
exciting. When was the last time you pulled Sean Ross?
Battle Zone Hinton. Yep.
Okay, and you're trying to get some revenge, eh?
Yeah, yeah,
And
definitely.
so, um, what event is that at Impact PI? Can you say that?
It's I don't know the name of it, but it's Jody Harper.
Oh,
He
so it's going to be on a Mac table.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So
because they're
it's a Mac
doing so
event. It's a Mac event, I think.
the paid plant arm wrestling, or I don't, I probably butchered that, but
Yeah,
yeah, no, that's super cool.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Well,
we'll
that's
see. I'm definitely gonna try and get a match out there.
yeah.
We'll have to fly.
They
We'll
do
fly
like
down together.
30, 40 super matches at that event too. It's crazy.
I don't know how much I can say either, but Travis Robertson always does an event in December,
He does. He's doing one December 7th.
December 7th. So I don't know what I can say, but if you guys are arm wrestling fans, that's another Alberta. Well, it's Alberta,
There he is.
Saskatchewan, but
Well,
it's
I'm
always
sorry.
let's talk to Josh while he's got connection.
yeah, yeah. No, it's all good. Josh,
Actually,
I
man,
got. Oh,
He started driving and
I
you
went
got
over under some transmission.
oh yeah, I know how it
oh.
is. Oh,
Um,
so
are
he's
you
still
doing
there.
the Are you doing the arm wrestling on the 5th or the 6th? Oh,
Oh, you're trying to get
okay.
it in. I know. I know.
Okay. Well, where were we? Oh yeah. So December 7th, guys. I was at Travis Robertson's event last year, and
Yeah,
oh,
some transmission.
So close. He's
he's got to
close.
climb like 1 meter above sea level. He'll be there.
I think so. Just a little choppy still. You're getting closer. A little robotic still. Um, yeah. Hopefully he gets good here soon. So it's all good. I know how it is. Wi-Fi and
And
cell
so,
towers.
is there anyone from Saskatchewan you'd like to pull, Brian? I'd like to see you pull Steve
Oh,
Gator.
yeah. I don't know. It's Sully. Sully was hinting at a match in December. And
Who?
I'd like that Solomon.
Am I not there
Oh,
anymore?
there. Oh, hello.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, he was there. He
he'll
was so
probably
close.
rejoin. He'll be okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Solomon. Okay, he's
Yeah.
from Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I think he's from Cape Breton. I think he's actually
Oh,
from
okay,
Cape
okay, yeah,
Breton,
yeah.
but he lives in Saskatchewan now. Yeah, yeah,
Well, Saskatchewan does that Manitoba versus Saskatchewan every year, Man versus Sask.
yeah, yeah.
One year we should see if we can get like a through the finger sponsor or something on there. But with the sponsorship, we'll have some Alberta like Man
That'd
versus
be
Sask
good.
versus Alberta.
That'd be good.
And if
Yeah,
they had it in Saskatchewan, everyone could just meet in the middle.
yeah.
Because I know they do it every year and they have a trophy, but like we could just have matches at the start or something that don't count towards it.
Yeah.
But there's some people from Manitoba I'd like to arm wrestle as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure there is. Oh, he's not. You're doing better.
Is that better?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
better.
that's better. That's good.
I'll just fucking pull over right here. Then we'll get
He was
fucked.
like, good signal. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
was, oh yeah, Josh,
Yeah.
are you doing the arm wrestling on the 5th or the 6th?
What
It would
day
be the
were?
Saturday. So the 5th, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will that be in the morning or later in the day? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You should just keep driving.
He was doing really good.
Well, this
Well,
is redneck Alberta for you guys. I live
yeah.
out there too. One
Yeah.
second you got full bars, and then you fall forward,
And
and
you get
you're
messed
on
up.
SOS on your phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally not arm wrestling related, but did you hear that with the new iPhones, you can call and send text messages through satellite?
Well, they're trying to do that because they want to compete with the Pi phone that's coming out to North
The,
America.
the Pi phone. What's
You
that?
never heard of it? That's
No.
Elon Musk. That's Musk. That's Starlink phone.
Oh, he's gonna have a
Pi
Starlink phone.
called the Pi phone. Yeah.
Oh, so it's like iPhone but with a P in front of it.
Yeah, but it's the shit, man. It's Starlink enabled, and you don't pay a month. I don't think you pay monthly. I think you just buy it. It's like a few grand
Oh,
for the phone, but it's like hooked up to all the
oh,
Starlink satellites. Yeah, so
yeah, or yeah. It'd be cool if he did either free monthly or like if he does do monthly charge. If you have Starlink, you could also just get the added phone for free.
that'd be cool. Yeah, but look up Pi. Yeah, Pi phone by Elon Musk. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Well, we're
thinking
not
if
sponsored,
I can get
guys,
one,
but
I'm gonna get one. Yeah, I'm gonna get one.
yeah, I'll probably get one too.
Yeah, and then it doesn't matter where I go; it just works.
This podcast will be in the Himalayas on an island.
Yeah, we can live
Yeah.
stream from a friggin' lake. We can have a fucking tournament on a glacier lake or something.
You can just have a tournament on a yacht in the middle of the sea.
Yeah,
That'd be so sick, actually.
yeah.
I think the rich arm wrestlers need to do that more. They need to just go on their yachts
Yeah,
and
why
arm
not?
wrestle.
That'd be amazing. Imagine doing the first event on a fucking yacht.
Well, when we were in Dubai and we rented that yacht, Matt, Sean, Derek Smith, myself,
Yeah.
we were like, damn, if this was like an inch, like a little bit bigger, we would totally have an arm wrestling table on there and just arm wrestle.
Oh, for
But
sure.
it like because I feel like that's something that draws people in. Like other people on yachts would be like, "What are they doing?" and come over and be like, "What are you guys doing?"
I know. Next, you got all these yachts tied together, big fucking super match event.
With the giant like floating box in the middle,
Yeah,
and you just like
it'd be cool. Look, I think
and
Josh is still not. You're not glitching. I wanted to wait and see if you were still there, Josh.
oh, I didn't notice.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
no, you're good.
I just drove up the road till I hit better service, but
Just weird, eh?
my truck has like built-in Wi-Fi, and sometimes it tries to switch back and forth.
Oh, okay. So then yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I just
Like
had to like
Bluetooth.
shut the Wi-Fi. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just had to shut the. Well, no, like the truck itself has Wi-Fi,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and then, so it was trying to go back and forth. So I just shut the Wi-Fi of the truck off, and now it's working good.
Oh,
Sorry
okay.
about that.
No, it's
No,
But
okay.
no,
yeah, no.
Oh,
So
good.
it's the Saturday would be the 5th, and it'll be around. They'll start probably around like 3:34,
okay.
Okay, and you're
and it's in
thinking
like
3 or 4 matches? How many matches do you want?
yeah, probably like 3 or 4 matches, and like I just honestly just want to get some local guys,
Yeah.
good matches pulling, so people other people can see it because like there's some freaks in the strength community, man,
Yeah,
and
man.
like if they ever decide to switch over, it'd be bad news for a lot of us.
I know, but at the same time, it's kind of exciting, right? Like,
Right? That's just it.
yeah,
Because Alberta's already got really, really strong dudes. So it'd be pretty
yeah.
cool to see.
Well, that's what I've been trying to do. I want to show the like North America that Alberta's no joke, and
Oh man.
I think that's my goal of my mission statement is to bring Alberta to the spotlight here.
Make Alberta great again,
Oh
baby.
yeah.
Yeah. No, because I mean, look, we had a small handful go to Florida for the
Yeah.
qualifier, and we got multiple first places, we got seconds, thirds. I think we had only 5 people, I think. 5 from Alberta anyway.
We did send a pretty good
Yeah.
five though, in all
Yeah,
fairness.
we did. But
Yeah.
I mean, we still have lots more that, you know.
Oh yeah.
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 They were a really good 5, but like there was also some elite guys that didn't go.
Oh yeah, exactly. You
Oh,
imagine
some
if
of our
Bellin
top
would have went in
guys
the
didn't
super?
go. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of
Right?
our
Like
big guys could have went and done good. Yeah.
yeah, did Mason go?
No,
No, he should have
couldn't
went.
compete.
No.
Yeah. Well, he was. I don't know if he. See, that's the thing, right? My promotion, I don't know the whole.
So
Oh, is he allowed to
Mason's
compete?
more fun.
No, no.
Yeah, because he's IFA. I
Yeah,
think.
he's IFA. Yeah,
Yeah,
he wasn't
that's
allowed
true.
at my. I don't even think he was allowed at my event. Yeah, it
That
sucks. I
stuff's
know.
so weird.
It's stupid.
It's like
Well,
powerlifting, it's the same way, and like I don't understand, and that like to be like the last shell shock in like this style that I've always done,
yeah,
because like I more or less want to start making it that just showcases everybody, and so the next one that I do, it's been in the planning for quite a while because I wanted to build shell shock to a point where everybody knew what it was,
yeah,
and now it's going to turn more into like an expo where like it's not just powerlifting, but it's like all like showcases of all the strength sports, like from anything from like MMA fighting, jujitsu, bodybuilding, roller derby, arm wrestling, like all the shit, and just like all
Yeah.
brought into a place 4 or 5 days where it's just like people can go just see some really awesome shit. Because like I even when I was powerlifting, I wasn't just a powerlifter. Like I grew up on a farm. I did all kinds of shit. Like it was, but like there's just so many cool
Anything
things
strength.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. There's just so many cool things out there where people need to like see it, and that's what it should be about. Not just
Yeah.
like singling out things because of money. Because like when it
Yeah.
comes down, that's all it is. It's all a money thing, right?
Well, that's good. I
Yeah.
mean, you know what? That's just expanding it. And not only that, it puts a spotlight on all of it then, right?
All
So
of it,
Well,
man.
it doesn't
it'd be
exclude
it
people. Yeah.
it'd be sweet to get to the point where eventually one day you're like, okay, we have an MMA thing here, and then oh look at this, we got like I don't know, George St. Pierre came out, or BJ Penn's here. Check,
It might
like
help arm
one day.
wrestling too, because
Yeah.
now you
Yeah,
got big eyes watching.
that's right, because like I already coach a world champion female jiu-jitsu fighter. Misfit has a sponsored professional MMA fighter out of Edmonton who's literally hasn't lost a match yet. He's and like no one will fight him right now, so he's been doing like jiu-jitsu and boxing, and like he just took a bare knuckle boxing match and it didn't pan out too well for him. But it's a whole different world.
Yeah,
I
it's a
warned him
different
about
world.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy who he was fighting was like fairly advanced, been doing it for a bit. So um it was, but like no one wants to fight him in MMA because he's very heavy handed.
Yeah.
So no, it's good, man, and like just everything needs to be showcased, and like that's why I just wanted to bring arm wrestling in instead of strongman. Like everybody knows what
Yeah.
strongman is, but
Yeah.
like do some fucking like see some arm wrestling, man, because everybody asks me why I do it, and I'm like, dude, it's a ton of fun. The
Yeah.
Oh
training is
yeah.
fun.
It's the
Fun.
real deal, man. It
Yeah,
really is.
but like what I found was like the community was awesome.
Yeah.
Like everyone I've met for the most part.
99% of the community is pretty damn loving, man.
And like everybody's awesome. Everybody helps everybody. Like look at us in like the top, we'll say like the top 8 super heavies.
Mhm.
We're all friends, man. We all talk, we all help each other. And like that's the one thing about going to a tournament. Like I don't like getting mad at my friends. So like it's hard for me to
Yeah.
it's hard for me to like bring up some shitty anger issues. So like
That's why it's fun to
I find a
travel
way. I
too,
find a
though.
way to do it. Yeah, you
oh
have to
yeah,
That's
don't
teach
why
get
me
me
how
that.
to.
wrong. Yeah, it definitely happens. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's why with them Alberta versus Montana or stuff are always so fun too. Because when you're going as a team and you're just supporting the boys and you're competing against people you've never met or like maybe have met very seldom, it's always fun because you can put them in that place where you don't care about them. You haven't had
Yeah.
a nice conversation with them. They haven't helped you out, and it's just like my goal is to beat you, and we can be friends.
Yeah, man.
That event
Yeah.
was awesome. Did you watch that event, Josh?
I did. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was awesome. And everybody did good. Dakota, like he
Yeah.
came out to the gym for a little bit of practice and he just did exactly what he said he was going to do.
I'm glad you picked up on that. It worked perfect, eh? Yeah.
Yeah. We wanted to showcase that our hands are the best here, right?
Oh, I
That's
think we
good.
lost him again. He was
Oh,
just about to hype me up, dude, and then he cut out, of course.
I know. See,
My luck, man.
the Dakota curse.
God damn it.
Yeah, but you know what? That it does. You know what? To actually be able to put on these matches at a strength event like this, it is good for arm wrestling. It's really good for arm wrestling.
Dude, all we need is I gotta meet up with Dana White, have a couple beers with him. We'll be in with them too. We'll be chilling.
Well, he's interested. Like he's been talking about it for a
Dude,
while.
I know, man. I guarantee you, like I know people, but I just don't quite know the right people yet. And one day I'll get there when I start meeting these people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I know I can convince people that the sport is fun. I feel like I have a very good chance. Like if I got to talk to him, to make something happen.
No, I know. And see, he was going to, because listening to that Chael Sonnen, when he was talking, he goes, Dana said there's, because they wanted to do something again with those Fatita brothers, or
Yeah.
whatever they're called. Yeah. And he said, we either got slap fight, the slap thing, or arm wrestling. And he
Dude,
chose the slap one. But I mean,
you know who Rampage Jackson is, right?
oh, yeah, of course. I know. I seen him at
Rampage,
the event a couple weeks ago.
yeah, Rampage just pulled in an event, man. Like,
That's
it's to the
awesome.
point. It's to the point now where the like Dana has definitely seen videos of people arm wrestling. Like,
Yeah.
he's seen Brian Shaw, he's seen Rampage, he's seen Chael talk about it. Like,
Probably watched the
you know,
WAL. Yeah.
oh yeah. So
East versus West now. Yeah.
and you know what? Like, it's really to the point now where I feel like arm wrestling in North America is one big sponsor away from like breaking the floodgates open and going crazy.
It
Like,
is. It is. I agree.
there is an entertainment value there, and like I'm a good example just because I started arm wrestling when I was 21 or 20. So when I would tell people I did arm wrestling, they'd be like, "That's a real thing." I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's a real thing," especially like the younger people. And
Mhm.
then once I show them, I've never had anyone who I've showed that I arm wrestle. Once I actually show them, tell me that it's lame.
No,
Everyone goes, "That's super cool. I didn't know that was a thing."
Yeah. No, I know. I know.
And
It's weird.
I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just
Yeah.
it's something
I'm like,
that's
how do you
fun.
not know about arm wrestling? I don't know. I don't.
It
Yeah.
like one
well,
of the oldest sports, and like it's huge.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, that's well, you know what? We're gonna see what we can do. Try to get some real good matches for that Saturday. Then and you're thinking in the morning? Is that what you
no,
said?
he
That'd be
said
the
three.
like in the afternoon,
Oh,
like
in the
3-4.
afternoon. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
But
Gives
Josh,
people.
I did crack his hand. Hey, like just exactly what I did with you on the table. I was so
You're
hyped
gonna
about it.
lose them again now that you're talking about yourself. Come
I
on.
gotta stop. I just wanted to say I did. No, okay. I literally went to Drayton, and it
Yeah.
was my last practice before, and I
Yeah.
showed him exactly what I was gonna do. And then it went the exact like I just love when a plan goes to place, man. But I can't. I'm not talking about it anymore.
We know because you see what happens when you do.
I literally brought it up for 2 seconds. Okay, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of it.
Oh, poor Josh. Uh, well,
Whatever.
I mean, the event should be awesome. It sounds like some of the best power lifters in North America are going to be there, and he said there's going to be some from all over the world there. So, um, and even I like my roots is powerlifting too. I always liked strongman. I trained for it when I was in my 20s.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's be interesting. I'm not even that old. I could probably get back into powerlifting shape and do masters or something. So, yeah,
dude. Dude,
yeah, why not?
but yeah, no, we're gonna like, especially with what Devin's doing, and I use Devin as an example because like I know him and I know the amount of behind the scenes that he does for the sport, and like, I mean, he had David Lade out there, which not everyone might know, but David Lade is like a Gymshark athlete. He's like one of the biggest like teen like early 20s, mid 20s, kind of like that kind of people. Like if you ask them, people who go to the gym who David Lade is, they know who he is. He's got like 3 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he was out there and did a whole video arm wrestling, and all the comments were super positive. Like, this is so cool. We just need to do this more. Devin's awesome, right? And so
Yeah, yeah,
something's gonna happen. And you know what? Like, some of these promoters need to just understand that. Like, look at how boxing was. Boxing was big, and then it kind of took a dip.
well, greed
And
killed boxing. Yeah,
well, that's the thing, right? But then once the thing that brought boxing back, not brought it back, but got viewership was when
hype
they started
fights,
doing was sorry,
hype fights, all the hype
hype
stuff.
fights, man.
Yeah, yeah,
When like whether people like it or not, when you get like those Jake Pauls in there that people can't stand and they want to
yeah. I
watch him
can't
lose,
stand him. I want to see him get knocked out. Yeah,
yeah, but you watch because you want to see him, right? And so there,
yeah,
we need to find a promoter that is going to bring in some of these guys who are like you know what I mean, and just
yeah,
people want to watch because they're curious, not because they care, because they're curious.
yeah, yeah. No, for
Right.
sure. Yeah.
I'm
So,
really sorry about these connection
well,
issues,
it's
dudes.
okay. It's okay, man. We just talk
I
shit either
I just
way.
got to stop
It's all
talking.
good.
Every time I
He
talk,
can't
you
talk
cut
about
out, man.
himself. The second
Yeah,
Dakota talks about himself, we lose you.
I ain't talking about it anymore.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, like on the promotion side, like I have like a network of people I can reach out to, and like I know tons of people. So like bringing people up is one thing, but like man, like it gets pricey. Like I don't think people quite understand how expensive it is to like
I
do
do.
these big events and stuff.
No, I do. I do actually. And
Right?
that's why I'm still out money. you know. Oh, you were doing so good.
Oh no, I'm
No, he's
here.
good. He's
Oh,
good.
there you go. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's so like I've been running Shell Shock for 9 years. The first 3 years I was probably sub minimum $5,000 a year. And
Yeah.
then this last year I was only sub 150. And this year maybe break even. But like
Yeah, but it's getting there.
it's yeah, there's no money in it.
No, you do it because you love it.
No, you do it because you love it. It's more or less like a thankless job because all you got to listen to afterward is people fucking bitching about stuff.
Yeah, I know.
And
Yeah.
and then you just learn and move on and like learn and learn and learn. And if they feel like they can do a better job, they should try.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, Sean Crowther just joined the chat.
What did he
Oh, the
say?
man.
I don't
No.
know. I think he joined the chat. I think he wants a match on October 5th.
Yeah, for sure, man. We'll set something up.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
pull him. Come on, Sean. What you got?
Yeah.
That'll
I'm
be
plugging
that'll be right.
here.
Yeah, that'll be right hand, right? Because he pulls
Yeah.
left at pulls
No, he
Artem.
pulls
He pulls
right.
right.
He pulls
pulls
Artem
right
right.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So that
he can pull
oh,
anytime, all the time.
That'll
Sean.
be a
yeah,
month apart. He'll be okay.
Sean's an animal, man. Like that guy just
Yeah.
goes and goes and goes.
He doesn't get tired.
And I just like so like watching him like progress has been so awesome. And he
Yeah.
just like it's like Dakota, man. He just puts in the work, puts in the time, goes to places that you're just like that's dope, man. Like,
Yeah.
and he's just been doing it. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's like he inspires me all the time. So I listen to
Oh
him. Yeah.
yeah, and he's pretty technically sound too. So it's not just
Really technically sound. Like, and that's the
yeah,
thing too, like
That's when you meet all those people, though. Like I've
yeah,
sat down in Turkey and talked to people who like we just don't get the chance to talk to here, and they've explained things to me in a way that I've never understood it, and then they explain it to you in some way, and you get it, and that's just all the hands, all the people. Someone does something to you, and it clicks, right? It's like even I remember I was talking to Jeremy one time, and we were talking about rise lift or something, and I explained something to him, and he just went like, "Oh, that's like a light bulb. Like I've never thought of it like that before." But when you said it like that, I now understand how to do it more properly, and
yeah.
it's a big thing. And I mean, like Sean isn't big on social media, so people don't know. It's kind of like how Josh keeps his stuff. Like he posts a little bit here and there, but like
Mhm.
Sean really doesn't even post much. But Sean like just grinds all day. Like
Yeah.
he works and he grinds.
yeah. No, it's
And
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's super sweet.
And he studies people too. Like if I'm in a match and Sean says low hand him, I'm low handing him. Like,
I do the opposite of
yeah.
whatever Sean says. He's got no clue.
I have a good record. I mean, right now, official super matches, I'm 3-0, and I've had Sean in my corner on all three. And now you're screwed, Dakota, because you were in my corner. So now you got to be in my corner all the time.
Oh man, I'm
Yeah,
screwed, eh?
yeah. I
It's
need
okay. I'll
I
hype
need
you
all
up
those
anytime,
dark thoughts from you guys before my match.
Right?
dude. If we were mic'd up, we'd be in jail.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I would have been in trouble. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
No, but that's
I'm
what you need, man, because it's not just a single person sport like people think.
Mm.
It's like, like it's like powerlifting. Yeah, you're the one doing the lifts, but it's everybody else that's there, like pushing you and like,
Inspiring you too. Yeah.
yeah, man.
well, and you know what? Like, it's super cool to have Matt like we do because, like, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when I'm at home training, I'm like, I need to train just because if I don't get stronger, there's not gonna be a bunch of people to like wear Matt out. Or like when I'm working on endurance, I'm like, I need my endurance because Matt's so much stronger than me that the only chance I have of making it work in a practice is by arm wrestling for so long that his hand blows up.
And
And
that's
then
why I
it's
try to get strong. I try to get strong because I want to be a guy one day that Matt can use to get a workout in. I mean,
You know what I
Matt's
mean?
Yeah,
Because like,
so above
well,
us, right? For
actually, that
sure.
reminds. I saw Jeff Miller commented on the last pod, and he said we are enough to work out Matt. And Jeff, we aren't. Like I hate to say it, but we aren't. Like he can run through all of us at practice as many times as he wants, and
They'll be
uh,
yeah.
like unless he stays at the table and we are constantly like focused on working out a point of his arm, and we're all hitting that area, like after a couple hours, yes, he'll wear down, but like we need to get better for him.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, Matt.
my goals come in. I'll have in about a year. I should have something. I have 5-year plans, so and so far I've hit my targets. So I think it's important to make your goals small and then have them
Yeah.
equal a bigger goal over time, right? So because if you do too much of a goal too quick, then you disappoint yourself, right? So,
Yeah,
especially
because
in
like
arm
for me,
wrestling.
yeah, I've hit all of my strength targets.
Yeah.
I just need more table time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's like,
started with a lot of table time, and now I'm gone kind of moved away now, where it's less
yeah,
and more strength. Yeah.
You know what? Drayton Valley's got a lot of sleeper arm wrestlers too. That's the thing when you go to these small towns too. Like these guys are already strong, and then they find something that they can kind of like. I'll say it as a hobby because they're so busy working all the time that they kind of, unless they commit, it's more of a hobby for them. But they're so strong that they're instantly good at it.
oh yeah, like Kyle showed up to provincials for his first event ever and like placed top 6 in the biggest class.
Yeah, like he's good.
Good.
And
He's
that
good.
was against like the Leach brothers and everything were there. And it was just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, he did awesome.
Yeah, I seen
So
him.
it was
Yeah.
super.
I like to forget
Yeah,
provincials.
no,
That was my worst performance ever. So. Yeah,
You know what,
that term
Brian?
I
want to
did
talk.
bad. Yeah.
Happens to everybody,
And
though, right?
I trained for 13 weeks for that, and I was the strongest I'd ever been. And it was just like, yeah, you got like I had to get a cyst removed from my abdomen like 3 days before the event.
Oh,
And I'm like, oh, sweet, like 12
timing.
weeks of training.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But if you didn't do it, you would have waited another 6 months, right? Probably. So
that's just it, right? Like that's what they said. They're like, well, we can get you in right now, or it's this time. And I'm like, let's just get it over with. Start the healing process because like it is pretty non-invasive. Like they got the scope that goes in and like cuts it out or whatever,
mhm.
but it still has to cut through your abdominal wall. And like I might have been able to pull, but the
We can
chance
always
that I got
closer
in a
It's
to it.
not
really
worth it.
good,
Yeah.
this wasn't worth ripping it open more. Yeah.
Get a some kind of hernia where your shit comes through, or yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that's been my luck this year. So I just like tend to be a little bit more on the cautious side.
Cautious side. Yeah, I hear you. I hear
Yeah.
you. Well, we'll
No,
have to
it's
get out and train with you too, because Drayton Valley's not that far, is it? Is it far from Calgary? An hour?
Yeah, no, it's like 3.5.
2.5.
Oh, okay.
It's about two and
I
a half,
drove.
3
I
Oh,
had
hours.
two
my
and a half.
first tournament there. Yeah, I was at my first tournament I competed in was Drayton Valley. Yeah,
And you're right in Calgary, Brian?
yeah. I live in Cal, but I have a trailer in Sylvan, so I guess if I went
Okay.
from trailer, it'd be a little closer. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, you had a trailer in Sylvan, Brian?
Yeah. Yep, I do. Sunny Siesta Trailer Park. It's about 2 miles from
Ooh,
the lake. Yeah.
Sounds bougie.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
it's a cute little trailer, man. It's got a little addition on it. It's a 32
Hey,
foot fifth wheel and got a little fence and a storage shed and shit.
Beauty.
that's a lot.
Yeah, it's good buy. It was a good buy. Yeah. Even though I've only been there once this whole summer because I'm so busy, I can't even do nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I feel that.
That's the thing. There's always like time, money, happiness. You got to balance all three. Good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I started throwing out some ideas for matches.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
one challenge that's going out, and if he's watching, Deadly Dale challenges Jeff Miller.
Well, that'd be a good one.
Yep, that'd be a really good
I
one.
enjoy I enjoy
Oh,
both those
I'll
dudes.
tell Jeff that tonight.
Yeah,
Jeff is like that quiet ninja sleeper, and like Dale,
he's on
Dale
a tear
brings
right
the
now.
energy.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, Dale brings the energy.
yeah.
I
We're
like
going.
both those dudes. That's a good
Yeah, Dale's
They'll be
train.
like trailer park. I'm gonna beat you up. I love it.
one.
Well, Dale, yeah, we're gonna go for a PR this Sunday. So right now
Right.
we're got a goal of a 250 strict on bicep day. So I was only at 170 4 weeks ago, and then I hit a 220 for 3.5 on Sunday. I almost got a fourth one. So it's not bad in 4 weeks.
Nice.
Good progression.
That's
Yeah.
solid. That's
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah.
I
We're
can do like
doing,
maybe 30 pounds.
yeah. Well, my goal is 250. I figure if I can get to a 250 strict, it's getting closer to elite numbers, right? So, um, and I'm trying to, I'm looking at what all the elites are doing, and I know I can't just go boom and get up to those numbers right now, but if I can get like, like 90% close to those numbers, then I feel that hopefully it will translate to the table in the power. Because I mean, seems like it's translating to my arm wrestling. Like, 1-2%, you get a 20% gain in the gym, you might get a percent or two on the table, and that's huge, right?
That's huge. And it also adds that little bit of layer of protection. And if you're trained in the right areas, right?
Yeah, exactly. And see, I used to never do biceps. I was like Hutchings, oh, you don't need biceps. I did everything but biceps. But I found when
Yeah.
I started doing biceps, it just kind of reinforced my arm. Like it reinforced those other areas too. So I've
Well,
Yeah.
noticed gains. I've noticed
Like,
gains in a lot of areas now just because my biceps are stronger.
I'm
So
a strong believer in it all helps. Like, I don't think there's something that you can train that's absolutely useless. I get there's something more effective, but like
yeah.
everything helps everything, no matter what you do.
So like a big saying in the strength world is strength is never a weakness because it isn't. Like if you're strong, it's never ever going to be a weakness in any way. Todd is also like an anomaly.
yeah, yeah, I
And
know.
like wicked dude, tradesman his whole life, super strong. Like I love watching him pull.
Me
Like
too.
he's one
Me
of
too. He's my favorite. He's one of my favorites for sure. Like,
but from like a strength and conditioning, like looking at it, like if I was to explain it to someone that wasn't at his level,
mhm.
if you don't train all the parts of your arm, it's like no different than a drivetrain of a vehicle. Say like I put an upgrade turbo and bigger fucking injectors in my
You gotta
diesel.
destroy the
I'm
fucking
blowing the
axles.
transmission, right? It's
Yeah. Oh,
transmission,
yeah.
right? So like if your biceps not as big and as strong as everything else, you're going to recruit those smaller muscles, and
Yeah.
then that's when your tears happen.
Yeah.
And I know all about tears and how that happens. So,
Yeah. No, for sure.
oh yeah, right. Like
I
that was
mean,
like I was just that strong dude that started
yeah,
arm wrestling, and I didn't know how to arm wrestle, and I arm wrestled Caleb, who's a
yeah,
phenomenal and he popped my bicep tendon off because I went
yeah,
and do a competition.
yeah. And he's a beast too. He's a beast too.
He's a beast, man. I love that dude.
Wow.
Me and him
Yeah.
had great battles now. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Do you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
My phone just popped up that it's at 2%. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna go to practice. All right.
Okay, brother.
Okay.
Okay,
Ready
buddy.
to see
Well,
it.
Okay.
sorry it wasn't too long, boys, but
That's all
thanks for
good,
having
buddy.
me.
Good.
Josh,
Yeah.
thanks for coming on. We'll see you soon, man. I'll come out for a practice.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime.
All
Yeah.
right. Take care, guys.
Okay.
Have a good
Later,
rest of the
bro.
pod.
Okay,
Yeah.
buddy. Yeah,
We should
so
we should
sorry.
see if that Sean and Caleb want to do something at
Oh,
Shell Shock.
yeah, oh yeah. Listen, that was the next one. I just didn't want to, I was trying to spread it out because it's like three matches, you said. So
Yeah.
I was like gonna spread the call outs out over 20 minutes
Okay,
here.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, yeah. It's all
But
good.
like
No, I think so too.
I think Dale and Jeff would be really good. Dale
Yeah,
brings that really, really good energy, and like he's always happy in a good place, and like
yeah,
he hypes up his matches. Like he does
yeah.
a good job of like getting the other guy fired up
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
And Jeff is like one of those silent killers. He just like he's been doing it for so long. He's really technical. He puts in tons of training. He's a good
He's
dude.
really good. He's really
Yeah.
good. Yeah, he's really oh. Mhm. Oh yeah,
So
Sean just said strength is a curse, but when you first come into the sport, it's much harder learning how to arm wrestle efficiently when you can just muscle your way through it pretty much. And you know what? Sean's right, because I had a little bit of a
100%.
problem at
It went.
first because of it.
That's what happened to me.
Uh-huh.
100%. I had to basically pretend like I was a dummy and start all over again from the bottom up
Yeah.
and relearn how to arm wrestle and do it slow and steady, no muscle, and
Don't
like
rush it.
basically let guys beat up on me for fucking it was months. So like
Yeah.
Sean was 100% correct in that because like
Yeah.
it's not like other strength sports where like you can be strong, but it's arm wrestling so technical that yeah, if you're strong, you may do good for a little bit, Like I did good. I ran through everybody in all the amateur matches. My first pro match blew my bicep right off.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Well, that's just it too. And like we were talking about training earlier, I used to listen too much to everybody. And now I know how I pull and I know how to get strong, right? I'm from a strength background too, and I know how to get strong. So I'm now I don't listen so much to other people on how to get strong. It's more just the technical on the table that I listen to people a lot with. Like bench press.
Yeah.
Bench press is one that I swear by because when I first started, I kept popping my pec. I'm black and blue in my pec all the time, going
Yeah.
inside, and then something would rip all the time. So ever since I went back to doing benches again, now this stays strong always. So
Always.
I
Yeah.
mean, there's nothing
And like
wrong with it's a chain, right? From the center all the way, right? So
yeah, for sure. And like with the bench, like it's not even so much about the pec, but the
no,
shoulders.
it's here. Oh, and that's why I do a wide grip, and I don't worry so much about the depth. I do it up
Nope.
higher, wide grip, because it really targets in here then.
Yeah.
It's more
Yeah,
of
I
a
don't.
custom arm wrestling bench that I do. So
Yeah, so I bench to a two board.
okay, yeah,
Uh, and then for me, like I've already blown a pec off, so like I don't need to do that again, and I don't want to do that again. But
exactly.
the tricep strength, the shoulder
Yeah,
strength, like I think a lot of people forget. Like if you watch someone arm wrestle, you can see the muscles in the shoulder feather,
yeah,
like
I
you're
agree.
using them, right? So like you got to have healthy shoulders.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. And I mean, and not only that, too, I think a lot of arm wrestlers, they'll get to a point where it's like they plateau. But if they just threw in some core exercises, we all know by strengthening our core, all our plateaus increase, right? Like that's common
Everything.
knowledge, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So people need to think about that. And you know what? If they can incorporate some core exercises and add some like overall power, they might have some big gains even in those small muscle areas, right? So
And like I'm a firm believer too. So like arm wrestling's from the floor up
yeah,
because you're grounded to the floor.
yeah,
So if your legs can't match like what your core and your upper body can do,
yeah.
you're just kind of going to get tossed all over the place.
Yeah, it's true. No,
Right?
you're right. Yeah. And I was noticing that too for a long time. I never
Yeah.
used to focus my legs, and now I realize they play an important fact, right? You watch one guy to watch, Victor Beloff.
Yeah.
Watch Victor pull. His legs he's like he's dancing under the table. They're going everywhere. He never
Oh man.
stays
And
still, that guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
Victor is another guy you got like people
Oh yeah.
watch for it. Like he
Yeah.
just shows up and cleans house.
Oh yeah. Well, he just beat me in the overall 2 months ago. Yeah, and that pissed me
Yeah.
off too. Yeah, I got
Yeah, he just kind of
six.
like
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
He just kind of pops up out of nowhere, and he's just like boom, everyone's going down.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He's really good, and he's getting big now too, and strong. I think he's put on 20 pounds. So
And like that's another guy that like he's all over the place training with different people and learning stuff, and like he's just consistent and keeps like chipping away, chipping away, chipping away.
yeah, yeah. And then there's one other match I was thinking about. And have you heard of Greg Deneen?
It sounds really familiar. I
Well,
can picture his face.
he's one of the strongest left hands I've ever gripped up with, like by far. Like he's
Where does he train
retarded.
on?
He's been training out of Calgary now for about a year.
Okay, yeah, I do. I know exactly who you're talking about now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a big dude, a big strong
yeah,
dude, and suit like unreal strength on the left. But you know
yeah.
what? Caleb is also wicked on the left. He's actually
Caleb is,
Caleb's more lefty than righty these days.
yeah,
So Caleb could do a
yeah,
double header. Sean Greg, boom.
that
What a
would
way to get Caleb back into arm wrestling.
right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
because he hasn't been active. Caleb hasn't been active. He actually did call out Sean for my last event, but Sean he had work obligations. Sean said, "Yeah, no problem." He was happy, but he was working. So
honestly, I don't think Sean's ever said no.
I don't think Sean would say no to a match. If he can physically do it, he usually says,
No,
"Yeah,
no. Even if it was someone like Josh, he's saying yes. You
yeah."
know what I mean? Like, he doesn't care,
Well, we got to get you. You know what? Out of the events coming up, we'll see what's going on. We got to try to get you a match because got to put
man.
all
Yeah,
that hard work on the table, right? So.
that's the plan.
Yeah, and even me, I get, there's so many people and so much going on. I don't think, right? If I would have thought, but there's always woulda, shoulda, coulda. So in the future, we'll make
Bro,
sure
it
we get
is
the
what it
match.
is, and like we're all busy. Everyone like most
Yeah,
of like especially as blue collar guys and stuff like that, man. Like
yeah,
we're busy. Like I'm
yeah,
busy,
yeah.
but
My
like
always hectic.
if I know in advance, I'll just take the time off. Like I don't really care.
Yeah,
But there's a couple good left-handed pullers out of BC too, big boys.
yeah. There's a really good lefty in Nova Scotia.
Yeah,
Patrick, what's his name? Anyway, he's like really good. I think he won nationals on the left, but I don't know if we
and
have a
then
lefty for this guy. Yeah.
Greg is super, right?
Mm. He's like a 242, but he'll pull super. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be a really good match for Caleb because Caleb kind of floats around that like 250, 260 mark. So like
Yeah,
that's
between like 250, 270, 270 at the heaviest, probably. But
yeah,
he's looking pretty big. I don't know. I don't know what he weighs right now.
yeah. No,
Definitely
he
me
trains.
looking.
I think he trains. I think he still trains quite a bit.
Oh
He just
yeah. Oh
doesn't
yeah.
get out to arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still
He's
like when
like
I
the
get out
rest of
there, I
us.
see him. Yeah. I got to
Yeah,
practice.
no,
Hmm. But
but well, there's a couple matches I'd really like to see. There's a couple matches I'd like to see, but now I don't think they'll ever be able to happen because of other weird rules and stuff. Like I'd love to see Mason pull on and
I think so
right.
too. I think right
Yeah.
now, I think Mason would want to pull on him soon before he couldn't. Right. So
Yeah.
the
I don't
odds
know,
getting
man.
bigger. He's getting bigger, stronger, better. And people
But
are
like,
starting to catch on to Mason's hit now. So
yeah, and like the thing with getting bigger isn't always the best if you do it too quick.
yeah, yeah, no, it's
Because
true.
like
And he
once you
did put a
start
lot
getting
of bad weight on it, looked like too. Yeah.
because once you start getting to those elite guys, like those dudes are machines,
Yeah. No, it's true.
man. Right?
And
Because they're
I
not
think
just 242; they're 242 with a six pack. Like,
solid. Yeah, solid.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially those Eastern boys from overseas.
There's some big
Yeah.
guys just floating too. Like there was one guy, I was trying to get a match at the City Slickers event in Montana, and there was a guy coming named Steve Walker, and the guy is a beast. He's like in his
Yeah.
50s. I think he's like a 10-time national US national champ. And anyway, I thought it would be too much for me, but it would still be an honor and a good test, right? But
Yeah.
he backed out for some reason. But I was talking to Ian Carnegie on the phone the other, like, I don't know, 5 days ago. And I was
Yeah.
telling him, he's like, I've never really heard of this guy, blah, blah, blah. You sure you want to pull him? I'm like, yeah, it'd be an honor. And then he met up with him this past weekend, and Steve whooped him. and Ian finished second to him at some state fair in the States. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, man, like it's different when you get those guys that have been doing it that long, right?
yeah. It is true.
Because like
And
the guy who
tendons.
got me into arm wrestling is a man named Brad Hunker, and like he was the undefeated world champion for like 3 years in the late '80s, early '90s, and it was just random one day. I was at the gym and this dude was like rehabbing his biceps, so I like helped him out a bit, and he's like, "You ever think about arm wrestling?" And I was like, "No, never." And he's like,
No,
"We should do it sometime," and he just like came to the gym, and we that's where I started.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and
That's
he's just like
cool.
a solid dude, and like, and then he introduced me to a bunch of people around here, and it's just been great ever since.
Right on. It's always nice too, like when you had that yet where you meet somebody, you tell them about arm wrestling, and then all of a sudden they arm wrestle. Like I've had a few now where I was at Mayhem at the mall last year, and this young guy was there. They were loaded, they were partying the night before, and they seen me, and the guy's like, "Oh, what, you arm wrestle?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "We have a tournament tomorrow. Why don't you come and enter and check it out? You can enter the amateur." It's like, oh, I don't know, but maybe. And he went anyway, he showed up, he went. And then about 2 months later, I was at another tournament, and guess who I seen? That guy again.
Right?
Now he's hooked.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, fuck yeah. Like, right
right.
on, buddy.
Well, that's
Yeah,
it too,
yeah,
man. Because like I'll go into Edmonton every now and then and just
yeah,
like pull when there's like a big event coming up where I just need some different stress on my arm.
yeah,
And like this, every time I go there, I see new faces.
yeah, yeah. I know, I know. And Calgary Club was like that for a while too. But then we had our issues lately. It was tough.
Yeah.
We had a good spot, and then they wanted the spot for something else, so we kind of got the boot, and then a whole bunch of crap happened, and then I don't know. You know what? There's still a lot of good people here. People are holding practices at their garages right now and spreading it out.
Yeah.
So hopefully
That's awesome.
something works out. Yeah, and me, I'm taking a step back a little bit right now. I want to really focus on my arm wrestling this year, and also my club's Red Deer, right? Like, so
Yeah.
I kind of want to put some more energy into my club. Like I was, operating Calgary club, and I loved them, but I was never felt like my heart's still Red Deer. So
Yeah.
it's tough. It's been tough. It was tough on me this year, trying to do
Yeah.
too much and spread myself too thin, because you can only do so much too, right?
Man, I know the feeling, like between like training and coaching and running the Misfit like clothing line with the sponsored athletes and then working a full-time job. It's just like, fuck,
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'm coming or going or half the time.
Well, yeah,
So
and
I
that's
just,
been me. Yeah, that's been me, like a lot on my plate, and a lot of personal stuff, home life, and then you still try to run events. You still want to, and then you're getting all these jobs. I got a like reffing killed my year last year. So this year, I'm actually only reffing this year for Perry in Hinton, and I'll be
yeah,
reffing for Iron Core League in Lethbridge. So that's my only reffing responsibilities this year. So because I want to
yeah.
focus
So
it on.
Perry was the guy that was at the gym.
Oh, okay.
So Perry was the dude at the gym work fixing his bicep. And
Okay.
then he came to the gym and brought Brad with him. So I will never ever not be at the Hinton arm wrestling tournament.
Yeah, me too.
You know, like,
I love it.
and like Perry's a wicked dude. He puts so much energy into everything, and just
Yeah,
like that's one of my favorite events.
it's one of mine too. Yeah, I went
Yeah,
and I was hooked from day one. So
yeah. Just the atmosphere, everyone gets along. It was a good time. Like
yeah,
this year, I didn't even think they expected that many registrations. Like it was
it
like
was good, man. It was a good
good.
year. I mean, it
Yeah,
was, unfortunate,
the circumstances. Yeah,
yeah. But you know what? I think that Hinton, for some reason, it's a small town, but when Battle Zone comes, everybody comes out. Like, and
it's
the quality of pullers you get at Battle Zone,
yeah,
that's
yeah. It's
awesome.
yeah, it was a good one, man. Like
Yeah.
it was a good time. I wish it would have been like in a bit better of a headspace, but like it is what it is. You learn, move on.
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, even Hinton, man. I ref that. I was happy. I ref that one, but that was another one. That's why I want to go against Sean Ross because
Yeah,
I felt raw. Well, that was a rough. I think I went 10 hours. I think I ref 9 hours or something, 9.5 hours before I had to arm wrestle. So it was right near
yeah.
the
And I
end for
think
me.
that's even for like this the pro super heavies, it's always the worst because you got to
Yeah,
sit there all
yeah,
day
yeah,
and like watch, and then like you think like you're gonna go, but you're not sure, so you're kind of like
yeah.
getting warmed up, and then it's just like, oh no, we decided to do this group first. You're like, God
Yeah.
damn, right?
Well, the one
But
good thing is we've been changing it up though. So for the last few events now, we've been doing pros first. So
that's
um
awesome.
well, the reason is, look, how you did your time, right? You did your amateur, you become a pro, whatever. Why should you're in it for the long haul. Why should you have to be the last one to pull all the time, right? So I said, listen to this. You know what, amateur, this might actually help you train harder and move up and want to pull pro. So you know what, amateur, you wait. And the pros go, the amateurs haven't done their dues yet. Right. So
Yeah,
now,
man.
boom, then they pull. And then they might say, screw this waiting 8 hours. I'm going to get stronger. I'm going to start going pro. And
Yeah.
then you're going to see it might even help the level of arm wrestling, maybe just by a little change like that. I mean, I don't know. What's your opinion? I think it's pretty
So
good.
like for me, I think in the original way that they were doing it, there wasn't as many people that would go to the events.
Yeah.
So they would have the amateurs first and the pros second, so people would stay longer to watch the
Yeah.
pros.
That made sense
But
too.
like it's not like that anymore. Like there's
No.
the events fill up. There's sometimes there's more people than like we can handle.
Yeah.
So like why not have the pros go first? If anything it's gonna do is fire up the amateurs.
That's right.
You
That's
know what
right.
I mean? Like they're
Yeah.
gonna see things and be like, okay, well that's how the strap works. So
Yeah.
when he's asking thumb out or thumb in, like that's for the strap. And like so like
Exactly.
my first like big event was the one in Red Deer where I blew my bicep off. And like the first person I pulled was Ryan Espy.
Oh,
So like I pulled Marin and beat Marin, and then I pulled Espy, and like me and Espy, like I blew his hand open, and he looked really surprised, and I was really surprised because like
yeah,
I grew up watching this dude arm wrestle,
yeah,
and
yeah.
like they're putting the strap on, and like I had no idea what that shit meant. They want a high or low. I'm like,
You're
man,
like,
just put it wherever you
whatever.
want, like whatever. And Ryan's like looking at me so confused. I'm
Exactly.
like, and I'm just like, I don't know if you've ever been a strap to Ryan in a strap before,
No, I
but
wanted
like
to.
it's like being tied to a truck,
Oh, yeah.
and like like I hadn't been
The way
arm
he
wrestling
hits.
really long, and the way he hits, and he's like really good in a strap. And like for me, I didn't really know arm wrestling. All I knew was how to top roll. That was it. That was all I was doing, right? So
Yeah.
like I just more or less went with Ryan because you can feel it. You know when like you're about to get your arm torn
He
apart.
throws his whole body into it too. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like so I just went with him, and afterwards I'm like, yeah, like that's the first time I've ever been in a strap in an arm wrestling match, and he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, no, like this is my first pro event, man. Like I've only ever done 3 events, but because I won those 3 events, they made me pull pro.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to. My coach didn't want me to, but they're like, well, you just won your last 3 events. And I'm like, well, they weren't really big events. They were kind of like backyard events.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not ready to pull pro. And like, of course, like I pulled someone like technical, like Caleb, and I blew my bicep off. Right. And it was just like, I knew I shouldn't have been doing it, but I kind of got like forced into it. And it was, but like, it is what it is. The thing is like when you hurt yourself, you're going to learn more from hurting yourself. If you continue to go on with it, than you will from like trying to wimp your way through it. Like I learned more from hurting myself and came back probably twice as strong.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And because you never want to do it again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and you remember that position too, or what you did, or yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but like Sean said, being strong coming into arm wrestling was terrible for me because like
your tendons aren't there. Yeah.
Oh, and like because I was strong, I was winning against all the amateurs.
Yeah.
But like you can be all strong as you want against an amateur. When you pull like anyone who's been pulling for more than a year, it's a whole different monster, right?
Yeah. I found that. I know. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've been there. Yeah.
So I'd never really been in that losing position before that day, and I didn't like it very much at all.
No. No. And that's what drives us to get stronger and stronger. Hey, Zach, I'm glad you made it on, brother.
Yeah, I finally made it.
Yeah, yeah. So we've been talking about matchups. We brought up Deadly
I've been listening
Dale
the whole time.
Oh, were you? Okay, yeah. We talked about Deadly Dale and Jeff Miller.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
think that match is fire.
That has to happen. Come on.
Yeah, I think
that's the match.
I think that's almost And then we mentioned Sean and Caleb. And then I mentioned even Greg Deneen, maybe, and Caleb left.
Yeah,
And then did you guys think of any other ones outside of what we talked about?
A couple.
Yeah.
But
well, we're just throwing them out there because hopefully people are watching, and then I can get okays on the messenger afterwards, right? Right. Right. This is like a setup that's going to make these matches, right?
I'll tell you what. I know Cody wanted a match. Left or right arm. He said he'd love to have a match there.
Yeah, but who's good for Cody right now?
That's the question, isn't it?
Cody's gotten really strong.
Cody's the dude from the Red Deer Club, right?
Yeah, Mighty Mouse. Yeah,
I like that dude. He's super nice.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Yeah.
There actually might be a couple dudes from the Edmonton Club that might be there.
Yeah.
I can't remember their names right off the top of my head, but I was in there not long ago doing some pulling, and guys around Cody's size were.
Well, I'll put a message in the Edmonton group and then see if anybody wants to go on. So, but with 3 matches, right? So we got to watch how we pick these.
Well, dude, honestly,
10 matches.
Yeah, if we can line up a few, like it's not like there's any time limit. Like I have the whole space for the whole weekend. If it goes later into the evening, that's not a big deal.
So if it was like 4, it'd be okay.
Yeah, we had even like 4 or 5 instead of doing best of 5, maybe do best of 3, and we could have a couple more matches in there, right?
Oh, we definitely could. I mean, we did 7 in 2 hours, or 8 or 9 actually in 2 hours. and that was just
Yeah.
normal pulls. So I mean, I'd
Yeah.
be about an hour to an hour and a half event if it was like 4 or 5.
Yeah, so like if we find some guys that like are looking for tune-up matches or like looking for like bridging matches, like like there's lots of really good pullers around. Like I like
Yeah.
watching Ali pull. I like watching there's tons of guys I like.
Yeah. No, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. No, it's
So a
cool.
lot of guys will want like a little bit more prep time, but as long as you stress the fact that it maybe wouldn't be for rankings, it'd be more of like a fun match, maybe. You
And,
might,
and if they want it
all
for
it is.
rankings, they can have
if
it.
they want it for sure. It's just it's
I'll
not
ref
a lot of
I'll
time.
ref.
But, you
Yeah,
got what?
I'll ref it.
About a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a month out today. It's on the 5th and 6th, so it's about
Yeah.
a month and a
And
couple.
we're gonna do it. He said it's gonna be like afternoon Saturday, the matches. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if
people
they
like-
want to make it ranked, I'll ref, so I'm certified. So if they want to make it ranked, they can.
Yeah, and we'll be right in Edmonton too, so there'll be a couple other refs kicking around.
Well, there is. Yeah, I was gonna ask Josh Russo to come.
Russo's,
with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a good guy. He's actually my partner in crime. He always refs with me, or he refs my events. He's a really good guy. So
Oh yeah, heard of some good
yeah,
things.
like-
That guy.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even worry about rankings. Like this is more or less just like to put on a good show.
Put on a show.
Our live stream always pulls lots of people, so like the live streams usually get pretty good. The video quality is phenomenal. There's always photographers and videographers.
That's
Because I'll
awesome.
tell you right now, that Greg, Deneen, Caleb, I'm pretty sure both one of them would definitely want it to be a ranked match. I can feel it.
One of them.
Yeah.
But that's
even
okay if they
wasn't, that'd
do.
be awesome, right? It'd be good if it wasn't. Then they could feel each other out, right? A good way to just kind of know where they're at.
Yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
I don't know if they care either way. It's just a matter of if they can do it. So
Yeah.
But I mean, just the names we're talking about. I mean, they're gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So it's
Yeah,
I
like
really
I
think
could.
that Deadly Dale and freaking Jeff, man.
that one's fire. Like
So excited.
That's fire.
I hope that happens.
Yeah, you got like two polar opposite personalities, both great arm wrestlers, both great dudes, and that would be a good one. And I really like Jeff, and I like. I don't know
Jeff
Dale.
Miller's great for the community, man. He's always doing positive stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, and like I don't know Dale really well, but every time I've met him, he's always just been super nice, super good dude,
he is.
and like,
He's a good dude, man. And he's fired up right now and he's strong.
yeah,
Yeah, he's gonna have a
And,
big
like,
win. So I mean,
yeah, and that's the best part because like, yeah, that'd be awesome. That's a good match. That's a really.
Well, you
good
look at the side, he's at 205 right now. And me and him, our PRs are together. We're doing our PRs together on our strict. So when I say I did 220 for almost 4, he did the same thing. Like, you know what I mean? So like,
Dale's
he's strong right now. Yeah. For 205, he's moving some weight now. So, and I got him bench pressing. I just got him benching. So
Yeah. Do you guys have the SSB bar in your gym?
No. My gym's just the home gym here, right here.
Honestly,
I just run
dude,
a
if you ever get a chance,
standard. Yeah.
just pick up a cheap one, an SSB. What they're really good for is doing JM presses.
Okay.
So kind of lift it up and let the bars sit on your chest, and that's your guide for your JM press.
Okay. Yeah. I just aim for my chin. Yeah. But you know what? I wouldn't mind trying it. Yeah, because actually JM presses lately, I haven't been doing them as much lately. I haven't been able to go heavy. I've been cracking and popping every time I do them lately. I don't know what's going on. If I got a tendon out of the track or
I know JM Blakely. I've met him a few times now. I used to go down to Elite FTS training all the time.
Okay.
So like I went down there and I met him. He's super, super rad dude. So knowledgeable, like it'd blow your mind. Like I try to like sit there and listen to them, and like I'm like leaving with my brain in the scramble.
Yeah. Well, you know what? For all arm wrestlers out there, no matter what style you pull, if you can incorporate some type of JM press into your routine, your arm health will go up considerably. Like really.
If it's one thing is with arm wrestlers is we're so bicep dominant.
Yeah.
That like building the tricep and like the stabilizer muscles in the elbow, that's what fixes it. Like that's the only reason like I can go so much. Like before I started with Yanis, I had no inside game. And like now it's like that's where I want to be. I
Yeah.
want to be in.
Yeah. I was lucky. I kind of my tries, the lower head, I've always had big, like the lower head of my triceps always been really big because I've always done lots of pressing and tricep work. Because a good press, you want to do tricep, everyone knows that. You build your triceps, you get a bigger bench, right? So
Yeah.
but I think it's helped me a lot with arm wrestling actually.
Big time.
Yeah,
Big time.
my natural instinct, when I first started arm wrestling, the one cool thing I guess that I got right away was a quick transition, just because naturally, instinctively, I like pressing motions. So
Yeah.
and I don't shoulder press. I mine's more of a side pressure tricep press. Like I'm actually out here, and it's weird. It's not. I don't recommend it to anybody, but it works good
No,
for me. But yeah,
like
it's
and like that. I'm not saying it in a bad way for you. I just
yeah.
know how that pressure feels on the inside of my elbow when
Yeah,
someone does it,
yeah,
and it
oh
sucks.
yeah, oh yeah. When you release, it goes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's
Yeah,
not
like
even when you're doing it; it's afterwards when you let go. It feels like.
yeah.
Yeah.
We got a couple guys that flop wrist, and like you'll be pulling them, and like steady, and they'll hit you
Yeah.
with that dirty old
Yeah,
flop.
it's
And
dirty. Yeah,
oh man,
yeah,
I started flopping.
yeah. See, I don't like it because I
That's
don't.
all I could do though. Everyone would just take my hand instantly.
You did now, but now you don't need to. But see, when I press, I try not to flop when I press because I never want to really get these extensors like all this. I don't want to stretch it out too much and get it too used to going back, right? So I keep everything tight. So when I press, I usually bind on the strap and
yeah,
I press with the strap is
yeah.
how I press. Yeah. Or with
Well,
my
yeah,
or with my fingers if I'm not in the strap. It'd be a
yeah. I
cup.
just put out a video the other day where we strap like so Dalton's like what 6'4", 280, and then we put 90 pounds of pressure in a band on my wrist, and then I wanted to start from a flop like a press position and then get him back over. So like
Yeah.
we started in his like press position, and I just like wrenched him over the table as hard as I could. And
Yeah.
like when we got to about 50, 60 pounds in band tension, I couldn't keep going through sideways, so I had to go in with that same style press that you
Yeah.
said, and that was the only way. And then we took out the crane scale and like crane scaled it out to like 90.8 pounds or
Oh,
something.
right on. Nice.
Yeah,
Have you know
yeah,
what how I was measuring my press, even though it's inaccurate? Because everybody knows when you press up here, it's going to be like 60, 70 pounds max. When you get
yeah,
here, now it starts going up. Well, so I used to put a scale on the arm wrestling table and I would
yeah,
push down as hard as I can. And
yeah.
it can't be right because I hit like 320 pounds of pressure. I'm like,
Yeah,
no one's holding 320 pounds of pressure with their bicep,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
it
whatever.
might be some it might correspond a little bit, but
You can get it correspond with like your own personal stuff. So like if
yeah,
you knew you hit 310 and then you got to 320,
yeah,
you
yeah,
get strong.
exactly,
But
exactly.
like no, I love that shit, man. I love like and I love teaching it to people. So like it's been awesome for me because like one of our big mottos in the strength conditioning world is from like Elite FTS. It's like live, learn, and pass on. So like you fucking learn this shit. What's the point of keeping it in? Like tell people, explain it to people,
Save them the time.
right?
Yeah,
It's like if someone would have told me that 3 years ago, I probably wouldn't have blew my bicep off,
yeah.
right? Like,
No, you're right. Well, and that's why it's good. You know what? I love just talking arm wrestling because I listen to all the podcasts too when I have time. I'll just put it on the background, and sometimes something clicks. They'll be talking about something, and I'll identify what they're talking. It'll relate to some match I had, and now
yeah,
all of a sudden it's like boom, light bulb goes off, right? And
yeah.
and it helps, right?
Even when Dakota was out, we would get in this. He wanted me to like let him get in this really bad position, and when he was pulling through his wrist, and I'm like, no, man, like pull through your pointer finger and your thumb. And he's like, instantly, he was just like, oh, dude, the connection on my arm is just feels so much better doing that. But
Exactly.
like as a strength coach, I may not be like one of those dudes can sit in a room and like tell you all the scientific parts of your body, but like I've coached people to world championships. I've coached like about 8 athletes now to university scholarships and stuff. But like, if you can know something well enough, you should be able to teach it to a monkey,
Yeah.
right? Like,
You're
and
right.
like some of these dudes with arm wrestling, like I'll message Yanis and be like, hey man, like I don't know what's going on, but my pinky and my thumb keep going numb. Like I think I might have carpal tunnel syndrome. He's like, you don't have carpal tunnel syndrome. This scaling in your neck is tight and your subscap is tight in your back. And then I fixed, like, did some subsap work, got my massage therapist to reach out my scaling, and boom, my hand was better.
Yeah.
And I was just about to start going to like
Isn't he a
doctors.
chiropractor, Giannis?
I think he's physiotherapist.
Oh, physiotherapy. Okay. I knew he's something.
Yeah. And he owns that gym and he does strength and conditioning coaching for like a bunch of different sports too.
Oh, I've been watching him for years.
Yeah, man. They always put out good stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I love watching Cendris pull because like, or Cendris, I don't know really how to say his name, but like he's just like so quiet and then just like
crazy.
Boom. And I really like watching Tom's pull too.
Yeah, Tom's. Yeah, he's really turning heads lately. Eh? Holy.
Yeah. He got second at Worlds, I think, to Oleg on the left.
Yeah, that's Oleg. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole. Like that dude was pulling super heavies when he was like 2 something.
Yeah,
I think he was 186 pounds pulling super heavies.
Well, and that's another thing too. You know, training. Like I love Sandris, and right now, like I might go back next month to his training, but I know for a fact that I probably will switch it up eventually, because right now I really like learning from all of them. So it's like, you know, like I'm hoping by year 5, like I'm only just past 2 years in the sport. So I'm hoping by year 5, I have my own routine and I've accomplished enough of a level that I can take on my own students. I mean, that's kind of the goal, right? Eventually.
And that's what you want to do is you want to learn from as many people as you can.
Yeah.
And then take those little tidbits from everyone and make it your own.
Yeah.
Right. Because no one's the same.
Yeah,
like
no, exactly.
Yanis is my coach mainly because I'm so broken of a person that he helps me stay healthy.
Yeah.
But like I'll be like, hey man, like my center table is really weak. Like it used to be I would have like 2-3 inches of play.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh man, I got you. 8 weeks later, it was like solid as a rock, right? Yeah. And then I used to have issues with staying connected into my bicep. I would just get opened up right away. And like because of my bicep reattachment, I'm really strong at a certain point. Like because the tendon's short.
It might be a little lower now, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you lose any overall strength? Because they do say sometimes when the bicep is, because it never sits as low as it did before, they say.
But yeah, so like when it comes to like strict curling and stuff, I have like my left bicep is clearly stronger, but like it's a different type of strength. So like I can still do like 90-degree angle, like dead hangs, like this with fat grips for like 25-30 seconds. But like
I have a hard time with those.
That's where I like training now because like everything I used to do was like so open with the training, but like now everything is like from like 90 up. And then after I'm done that, all the training from Yanis, I'll go do like 200-300 low weight reps in the low range just to push blood in.
Yeah.
And been helping a ton.
Does he give you the, like Sandras was getting me to do these rope hangs at 90, either like this or sometimes like the opposite, like supinated or pronated. And I'm like over 300 pounds, right? So I was having a really tough time with it. I'm wondering if my bicep training might help me with that. Maybe if I go back and try it now. But I couldn't do it. I'd be trying to hang and I'd just be like, oh, and I just wasn't strong enough. I wonder how I could train that to where I could build up to it.
Fucking prison pull-ups.
Yeah, well, he makes Saunders. Yeah, you got to grab it and then you hang like at a 90, and it's just like, you know, 300 pounds being heavy like I am. I think it was a weakness in my biceps, but I'm thinking now I might be able to actually do it because
Yeah,
He's
because I
shredded.
remember watching old videos of Dennis Saplinkov doing that with chains,
Yeah.
like a little tiny chain in his hand, and I'm like, it's like so tiny in his big hand. I'm like, how is he holding on to that? Like,
Yeah. Well,
but
Sanders does it
that,
with ease. Sanders goes,
yeah,
Okay, today we're going to do this. And he sends me the video, right? And he just grabs it and goes, whoop, and he just sits
yeah.
there and he's hanging. I'm like, how do you do it so easy? And I do it. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but
yeah. So
he competes at what 242.
he's no, well, yeah, he's 230. He competes around that 230. He loses weight. So I think it's
Yeah,
like 232 or something.
and like those guys have been training that style of training for a long time now. So like
True.
for
True.
them, it's it's like mind
Yeah.
muscle.
Oh, he
And
really made
that's
me feel like a bitch. I was like, what the fuck? I'm
yeah.
like,
Well, one of my athletes called me out on it the other day because like
yeah,
I was like talking to him and he's just like, yeah, like I'm just getting super strong and I'm like, yeah, let me see you do a pull up because like you ain't strong unless you can do a pull up, push up, and sit up.
yeah, it's
And
true.
he's just like, and he did one, and he's like, well, let me see you do one. And I was just like, how do you want me to do it? And he's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like, well, like the hardest way. So like it's like kind of like a wide grip behind your head.
yeah,
And
yeah.
like I hammered out like 15, and he's just like,
Oh shit.
oh.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I was like, yeah,
yeah,
man, like get it together.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's just it. Well, see, I got hit by a train years ago. Sounds crazy, but at my work, I got injured really badly, and it hit me in right here, and
Yeah.
it bursted my stomach wall. So my abs aren't connected anymore. So
Oh wow.
yeah, like that, like literally, if I lay down and I go to do a crunch, my insides come out the middle. Like it's really weird. It's
Uh
a weird injury. Like I need surgery, right? But the
yeah,
doctor said if it's not bugging you, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. He goes, if
yeah,
it's causing you issues, then we'll do the surgery. But it's like a big surgery and it's not, you know what I mean? Because they got to
yes,
reattach it right in the middle, right? But
yeah.
anyway, it causes me a lot of issues with stuff like that. Like pull-ups, I can do them, but as I'm doing
Yeah.
them, I can feel my shit coming out the middle of my gut, right?
So if you ever watch strongmen, they wear kidney belts, like those
Yeah.
soft belts that go
Yeah,
around
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just looking into getting one of those to help you out.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I think you're allowed to wear them when you arm wrestle too.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, because that
Yeah.
has been an issue for me in some training. Like Sanders will give me exercises, and I write back, I can't do it, and he'd be like,
Yeah.
"Why?" And I'd be like, "Well, my stomach comes up. It don't matter." I'm like, "Well, it kind of does." You know what I mean? But I mean, I
Well,
still
that
do
was
the shit anyway. I still do it, but it's just a weird injury for me, and it holds me back a little bit in some of my training. So yeah.
um that was like when Yanis was like, so like I need to know your medical history. And I'm like, dude, I'm not typing all that out. I'm like,
Yeah,
just give me a phone call. So he
yeah,
calls me literally when he's at grocery shopping with his daughter, and we're talking on the phone. And he's just like, "Okay, we'll start." And I'm like, "Well, let's see."
yeah.
I used to race ATV, so I was like in a bad ATV accident. And like collapsed right lung, 3 broken ribs, cracked sternum, 2 broken ribs on the left, separated tendons in my shoulder. Like I got reattached bicep, reattached pec, torn quads, no meniscus, fucking shattered orbital socket, reconstructed right hand. But he's just like, oh, I'm like, yeah, man, let's do this.
It's a lot.
That's why. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I trained. Like that's what got me into training originally was like the rehabilitation side of it, and then I had court ordered anger management, and my therapist was just like, "Have you ever tried lifting really, really heavy stuff?" And I'm like, "No, but I will." And then honestly, dude, straightly just went right docile, like super chill.
Right on.
And it's been awesome.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I'm looking forward to this event. We're gonna work hard on doing these finding these matches and that. I mean, it's too bad, Josh Bellin versus Brandon would have been good. So,
Yeah, it's unfortunate the way that went down. I'll reach out to Brandon in a couple more days and see where
yeah,
he's at with things. But like,
yeah.
I already talked to Josh. Josh is open to pull anybody anytime.
I
Like
just
that's the
can't
one.
think to who to give to Josh because he's such a beast.
Um, I might be able to reach out to Pork Chop and see what he's doing.
That'd be huge.
Yeah, pork chops.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but like, I'm not too sure if he's working up to a bigger match or not, but I don't know. I talk to him from time to time, so I'd like to see the Rick and Josh
Brad, me
match.
too, especially on a normal table too. Just because
But
it might be a little different because that inside I think it looks pretty favorable inside on those Mac tables. I mean, I haven't been on one,
sure,
I can't say.
sounds like I need to start pulling on the Mac table.
Well, we're gonna end up getting one out here, so
Yeah.
we'll have access to one eventually. Yeah.
Yeah, side note on that, like I don't know that Ian guy very well, but what he's been doing for arm wrestling in Canada is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
No, you know.
Seems like a straight shooter, stand-up dude, great sense of humor.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you know what? I mean, I applaud everybody lately. You know what? We got promotions popping up all over Canada now.
Oh yeah.
And arm wrestling is actually, like we got a real shot, man. Like a real shot.
Yeah.
I hope,
Yep.
yeah, any promoter, anybody out there, any even athlete that needs help or wants to do something and wants a little help, just let me know. Let any of us know. We'll all help, you know?
Yeah, Mike Shaft's just been like, bro, you got to get
Yeah.
your passport renewed because we're
Yeah.
taking you down with us.
Oh, buddy, you got to come. Yeah. And we're
Yeah.
they're going to do Arms Again too. So we'll get you
Okay,
on.
perfect.
Yeah, we'll get you
Yeah.
on the card. Yeah,
Maybe I'll scoot into Edmonton next week and get it all done. Because like all my other stuff, like I've already got like all my pardon and waiver and like everything's hidden anyways. So like I have no problem going to the States. I've been down there lots. I just need to get my passport renewed.
So this event, Shell Shock, it's gonna be, where is it gonna be streamed?
I think they stream it on it's either Twitch or YouTube.
Okay.
But like it's a buddy of mine that has like a streaming service,
Mhm.
and like dude, the quality is like amazing, and like
Yeah.
he's wicked commentator. He's really good. He understands like strength sports. He's a strength athlete, so like he likes arm wrestling too. So like he's just jacked.
So he has an
He's-
idea. So he has an idea of arm wrestling too. So you could
Yeah,
come.
and
Yeah.
even if not, we could get someone to sit with him and explain things, right?
Oh yeah. No. No, we can get one of our guys, Zach or Dakota, and then I can ref. And anyway, sounds fucking awesome. I'm pumped. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be good, man. Like even the event itself, like we usually see about 800 people coming through. There's usually about 12 to 18 vendors with booths like Supplement World, like a bunch of small mom and pop companies, clothing lines, stuff like that. So if you guys got stuff from the Red Deer Club where like maybe Matt wants to set up a table and sell some shirts, and that's we don't charge. I don't charge people for that because for me, you go to these big events and they'll be like, oh, it's $1,000 for a table. Well, fuck, man. For most people, it costs you're not making that money back, and it's going to cost you. So, say you came from Calgary for the weekend, you had a table, you got hotels, your food, your travel, all that stuff on top of it. But you have a whole different viewing than I have. So, like, why would I charge you for it from when you're basically giving us free advertisement from a whole different group of people?
That's awesome.
And then it just makes the event so much better when you can go. So like my homie owns YG Exotics, like an exotic candy store. So like he's there and he's like pumping out his stuff. And like another buddy of mine does freeze dried dog treats, who's been really taking off. We just landed a deal with Value Pet and all this stuff, or Pet Value, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, Pet Value.
But like it's a little bit of everything. So like I have insurance for my body through a company called Combine. Those guys will be there. So like last time I had my bicep surgery, I got like 12 grand. And there was no headaches, no
That's
nothing.
pretty interesting. You know what? You're gonna have to hook me up.
Because like even like if I was in the kitchen cooking and I cut my hand, it's like X amount per stitch. If I'm up in the mountains sledding and I hurt myself, like I'm covered, my work's covered, everything's covered.
Okay.
Yeah, it's basically
deductibles. Is there deductibles? I guess
no, man.
If they're paying out, what's the deductible? Yeah.
Oh, so basically, it's like so even the cost of it's not that bad. Like I pay $150 a month, my whole body's covered, and then as soon as the surgeon or doctor signs off on it and you send in your paperwork, like I was paid out like 3 days later. No questions, no nothing, no hoops.
Well, you
It
know
was
why I
just
bring
like,
it up? You know why I bring it up? And actually, anybody listening should listen to this because if we rip our, especially we're in our 40s, right? Like I'm in my 40s, not you guys, but I'm in my 40s, right? Later 40s now. If I rip my bicep tendon, there's a chance the government won't even reattach it because
yeah,
in Canada, they can refuse it. They can say, nope, you're too old, and they can just say, no, you have to live with it like that. And
yeah,
no one can, we arm wrestle. We can't live with it. We would never be able to arm wrestle again. So by
yeah,
having this insurance, it sounds like I can go and actually, if I had to get it done privately, I could.
yeah. And then like anyone who does hurt themselves doing stuff like this,
Mhm.
there's a really good clinic downtown Edmonton called the Life Mark Institute, and Randy Gregg is the doctor there who used to be play for the Edmonton Oilers, so they're sports specific,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they do gen rack. So like last time I went in for my bicep, I had an MRI in 16 hours, and I was in for surgery 2 days later. And
I
like,
waited 5 months for my MRI for my left bicep tear.
yeah, and the guy who did the surgery was the upper extremity surgeon for the Edmonton Oilers, Dr. Lalani.
We'll see. Yeah, yeah. I think that's something. I mean, if we're serious about our health and everything with this arm wrestling gig, I think that's a good one. There's, no
And
better
then that,
insurance than to protect yourself, right?
yeah, and then that insurance also has long term. So like I know in the long term from powerlifting, I'm gonna have to get my hips done.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
all that stuff's covered. They know about it. Like so like that insurance is set up for people that can't normally get insurance. So like
yeah,
welders and fighters, rodeo guys, like
yeah,
guys that go to the gym all the time,
yeah,
as long as you're not a paid professional. So like, like you're a professional soccer player and you hurt yourself, like they're not paying out your salary, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
but like for me with my job, I got 80% of what my normal pay was. I got for how long I was off, plus whatever for the surgery. And like it was such a good transition and it helped so much.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
like,
Well, I'm self-employed, so I'm not looking for income, but I'm looking for medical help. If that's my
yeah,
biggest worry. What if I rupture my bicep tendon? And I gotta wait a year, or they don't rush me. And then, you know what I mean? I want to get the
yeah,
surgery, I want to get looked at, MRI within, a reasonable amount of time, and I want the surgery done, right? So,
yeah. So like when I blew my pec off, I go in and he's like seeing me with my arm all up like this. And he's like, if you told me you did this slow pitch softball, he's like, just walk out the door. And I'm
yeah,
like, no, man, like I was getting ready for nationals for Team Canada. We're going to Worlds over in Slovakia. And he's like, had me right in right away. Boom, boom, boom. As long as they know that like you do like you
yeah,
do
you need that.
arm wrestling at it like a high provincial and national level,
Yeah,
you're gonna get the surgery.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah. No, it's good to
But
know.
like,
It's really good to know because
yeah, when it comes to all that stuff, like if anybody ever has questions about like anything like that, my network of people that I work with through the strength community, like they'll fix anybody. And like they'll get like when it comes to surgeons or insurances or like just like getting yourself healthy again, you can't learn from better people than strength athletes,
no, it's true. It's true.
right?
It's
Like
true.
look at Matt. Like Matt's a fountain of knowledge when it comes to fixing stuff and like getting stronger and like everybody brings a little something to the table, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? I'll end up getting some kind of link or something for the insurance from you, and then one of these pods I'm gonna because I don't know. I think you just touched on something that a lot of guys in arm wrestling they don't think about or know about. You
Yeah.
know, so
Or they don't arm wrestle as much as they should because they're worried about it.
yeah, and that happens too. There's a lot of people that are like that. Yeah,
Right. Like for
yeah,
me, when I was an industrial electrician without my hands and arms, like what the fuck am I going to do? Like
yeah,
we're pulling cable like this big around and like bending it in. Well, if I don't have a hand, I'm not working. Right. So
yeah.
like that's when I realized I
No
was like,
brainer.
okay, this
Yeah,
was worth it for me. And like how easy it is, man. Like when you have a good handler, Like I call Chris, he's on at Red Deer, and like Chris takes care of everything. And he's just like, yeah, I just need you to sign this piece of paper. And it's like the easiest thing ever.
Yeah.
And then I actually have a friend and she was out of Calgary, and I can just send you her Instagram. She'll get you all dialed up.
Yeah. Well, I'm already hooked, so I'm gonna do it. But I think, like I said, I mean, this is something that we don't talk about as athletes, arm wrestlers here in Canada, right?
Yeah.
I mean, our healthcare system, I'm sorry, Canada, but it sucks. So it's like, if you're relying just on the healthcare system, good luck. Good luck. Because my bicep tendon tear, by the time I knew it was a tear for sure with the MRI, it was already 10% healed. I had
Yeah.
a 47% tear right off the bone. But I mean, if I would have known right away, right? Like there's things I could have done. My rehab was like 18 months or 19 months, and it could have been like 6, right?
Yeah.
So,
And like when I tore mine, I had already had peptides in my system. So like my muscles were already healing at an
healing.
exponential rate.
Yeah.
And so they actually had to recut some stuff and then reattach.
That's what he
So
said. Well, see, when I got the MRI, he said, okay, I want to give it 3 months. And if you have a substantial amount of regrowth, I recommend you don't get a surgery, right? But if it doesn't, we're just going to cut it off, reattach it. Is basically what he
yeah,
said. But I ended up it healed, man. But yeah, little Wolverine
yeah,
action and a little bit of other stuff and a good rehab and I was able to get it back, right? So
yeah, man. The human body's capable of some wild shit.
yeah, for sure it is. For sure it is. I mean,
But
I think, and people, another thing is a lot of guys get injured, and I see it in arm wrestling a lot. And I promote, I know I talk a lot about this kind of shit, but thing is guys get injured and they just do nothing, and then wondering why 2 months later oh no, my elbow's still, I'm like, well, what have you been doing? Like, have you been slowly putting blood in there, rehabbing it? Like Hutchings just put a video out, and I've been doing it. It's just a 45-pound plate.
yeah,
Behind the head like
yeah,
this. And my elbow injury, like the jams actually hurt it, but I did this, and within a month of no pain in my elbow at all. Like
yeah. And
blood
like
flow rehab, right?
that's the person you want to talk to, right? So like when I
Yeah.
did my rehab for my bicep reattachment, they're like, "Oh, you can't move it for this amount of time," and every day I was just like trying to move it, even if it was a centimeter.
Yeah.
And I kept moving it, moving it, moving it, and even if I could just like put it down and pick it up, I
Pick
would
it
do
up.
that as much
Yeah.
as I could till I got tired and put it back in its sling.
Yeah.
And then like this whole thing where like people say that you have to stay stationary when you're like healing. Yeah,
No,
you do
you
for a
do,
few
but
days.
yeah, a few
Like
days.
the biggest thing is getting blood circulating in the body because like that's what's actually healing you. So like
Yeah.
when people are like, "Oh, I'm doing cardio," I'm like, "Well, if you're a strength athlete, you don't actually do cardio. Your cardio is active recovery." So
Mhm.
like when I walk on the treadmill for 45 minutes a day, you're recovering.
Yeah.
It's not because I'm doing cardio. Yeah,
Yeah.
if I could suggest one thing to everyone that hates cardio, do the cardio because like you will feel 100 times better, 100 times better. And even if it's just like a 30-minute walk a day, just fucking do it, right?
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. I watched a video. It was showing, it was a little micro camera, and it was placed in a tendon area, and it would show the tendon when you do nothing. There's like no blood. You have almost no blood hitting the tendon at all. But the second the tendon activates and starts moving, you can see all the little vessels open and the dilation and everything, and then the blood going into and you have to be using the tendon for blood to even go to it. So if you're not,
100%.
yeah, if you're not doing anything, you get no blood flow there, no nothing. It's not going to heal. It's going to, you know what I mean?
And I'll
It's
tell you what, like all these guys that are like, take peptides, do this, do
yeah,
that, that's fucking bullshit.
yeah,
Because like what we call that is called dirty healing. So like,
yeah,
yeah, if you have like a tendon or like a ligament or a bone fracture,
mhm.
peptides and shit, yeah, that'll help a
They
little
can
bit.
help, but it's
But
rehab.
what ends up happening is your muscle gets back stronger and heals a lot quicker than all those things. And then you
Yeah,
get this fake idea that you're
yeah,
healed
yeah,
when
and then you
really you're
get
not.
really hurt.
Yeah, so then we call it dirty healing. So like that first like 3-4 weeks, you don't want to touch any of that stuff. You want to let your body do it all. Maybe
Yeah.
take some collagen, do some
Yeah.
stuff like that, and then start using that kind of stuff because then your body's actually had a chance to heal itself properly and you won't
Yeah.
dirty heal. And
Yeah.
then, like me and Curtis talk quite a bit.
Yeah.
Mocan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we talk about all that stuff and like, Curtis is who he is, but like we talk about that shit and like I've helped him, he's helped me,
Mhm.
and like, it was good and like my bicep come back stronger than it was before and his
Yeah.
did too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, and a lot of that would be more focus on that area to fix it that you weren't focusing on before.
Yeah.
But like, I swear to God, man, every time we train, like I train with like Giannis's training, in the run of like a day of training between warm ups and cool downs, I'm doing at least 2,000 reps minimum of like minuscule little movements and just jam blood in there as much as possible.
Yeah. Well, I
And
know
then
about
if
the
I have,
dirty healing too. So,
yeah,
yeah, that's a real
yeah, you
thing.
don't want a dirty heel. That's a big thing, and that's something I learned at Elite FTS from Serrano, who's like one of the best sports doctors in the world who understands hormone replacement therapy.
Yeah.
And like, he's just like, yeah, I was talking to him with my pec, and he's just like, the last thing you want to do is just start putting a bunch of stuff in there. He's like, let it heal, let it do its thing, and then do that stuff, and then fix it.
Yeah.
Because like, it's the dirty healings. It's no bueno.
Yeah. I did. Well, I did my elbow. I popped my elbow. This is going back about 6 months ago. And I couldn't even go on the table. It was so painful. And everyone was telling me about the Wolverine, right? So I said, okay, I'll try it. Well, like 3 days later, all of a sudden, all the inflammation was out of my elbow, and I was like, I'm healed. I'm healed. I'm like, yeah. I went to practice. I pulled crazy.
Yeah.
Done, man. It was so bad. I hurt myself so much worse, man. So much worse.
So a
Yeah.
lot of people don't ever see it, but like if you see my right elbow, it's fucking like got this
Oh
nasty
yeah.
point on it. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have a
Mine does
broke.
too. Mine has it too. Look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right. So like I
Yeah.
broke my elbow and there's like a chunk floating
Chunk
around
floating
and
around and it clicks and pops when you're on the pad. Yeah, yeah, buddy. Yeah.
like if you see like my training lately when I'm
Yeah.
training, I'm like so posted up trying to keep my elbow.
Yeah, so it doesn't hit that. Yeah, Zach, you
Yeah,
felt
where I'm
my
just
my
like,
my elbow do that shit on the tape pad before, probably. Yeah,
yeah. And like it's just because
yeah,
like sometimes it's fine, you don't feel anything,
yeah.
right?
And
And
other
even
times
so,
it's
yeah. And even with like the bicep reattachment, where they actually reattach it is close to a nerve in your hand, and then right here will go numb if they clip it. Well, they clip mine, so now I'll be pulling, everything will be great, strapped, everything's good, and then one weird move, and it's like someone shocked me with electricity like up
right
through my
down.
fucking arm.
I get it
Yeah,
too. I
and
get a numbness. I get a numbness right through my arm, almost like it's like I don't have any feeling in my arm. But I don't know why I got it because I never had what you had. So that's a weird one.
so like through that pinky where you're pointing at right now, that's where
Yeah,
Yana said that like that's your subscap. So like we spend so much time in this shoulder forward position,
yeah.
the subscap will get tight in the back. So
Okay.
if it's one thing, I have every single athlete that I coach, everybody that I know, it's 100 band pull aparts a day. And like you're not just pulling them apart with your arms, you're pulling them apart with the scaps and really opening things up and just like boom, boom, boom. I'll send you a YouTube video. Like the guy who really started doing them was a famous strength coach named Joe DeFranco. And like hands down, man, I have no shoulder problems. And I have a 1 inch drop in my left shoulder from my accident.
Yeah,
And like I have no shoulder issues. I have no my triceps are good. My bicep feels great. I tend to get a little bit of tightness in through here sometimes, but like 100 band pull aparts a day with just like a little red mini, best thing you'll ever do for your shoulder health and your back health.
well, one thing I suffer from really bad is tendonitis in my shoulder blade. Like I
Yeah,
get a burning, throbbing sensation all the time in my shoulder blade, but I'm assuming it's from bench pressing. So
yeah.
yeah,
Elite FTS, like I refer to them so much because like they've been putting out information since '98, and like the guys that work there they're so smart. They actually made a thing called the shoulder saver, and it's like a pad that you put on the bar and you bench down to it and press off this like foam pad, and works wonders, man. So like even for you, I there's no point for you to go full ROM on your bench press.
Mhm.
So like why do it? Just bench to like a 1 or a 2 board and like get that tricep health in there.
Yeah,
Like, because you're never gonna go past that point anyways in arm wrestling.
yeah, it's
So
true.
like you don't really need to train it, and we're training the same muscles you would. So like when you cut the ROM of the bench press down, the arm doesn't break that point where we would be past in
Yeah,
arm wrestling.
normally.
It's
Mm.
efficient.
Yeah, yeah,
And
we don't do
now
that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So it helps so much. And like that's my personal experience. Some people will probably say wrong. It's different because like you got
no,
guys like on and
I
shit bench
understand it.
huge numbers. Like most of these guys at the top, like Levon, Michael Todd, all these dudes, even what's his name with Yanis, Coach Ray, they
Yeah,
all have huge
big
benches, man.
benches. Yeah,
Big
Levon was
benches.
just doing it the other day on his video for Jerry. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, you're right. And there's a reason for it. I mean, that's why I tell people they like, oh, bench, bench is a wasted thing. I'm like, no, it's not. You get so much power and you get so much connection if you're strong, especially in that area, right? Because I mean, just think about it. How many, even Matt, like I don't think he bench presses, and I watched him pop his pec, and he was all black and blue, right? So I mean, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's all important, man. Like it's you just want to
All
be a chain. You want the chain to be solid, right?
yeah.
And I
And
mean, it
like
depends
being
on the style too, right?
Yeah,
and being strong doesn't mean that your muscles get bigger. That's not how it
yeah.
works. Strength will not make your muscles bigger. Hypertrophy makes your muscles
It's a
bigger.
big, yeah.
But like, so for instance, I have a friend down in Calgary. His name's Joel Jansen. We call him Dr. Joel. He's an anesthesiologist. That dude's 190 pounds. He benches 475, deadlifts 840, and squats 750.
That's sick.
And like, he's not a big dude.
Yeah,
He's just strong.
yeah, strong,
And like,
dense,
you know,
strong muscles. Yeah,
yeah, so like you can get stronger without getting bigger. That's not how it works, right? Like when you're a strength athlete, these guys compete in weight classes for a reason. So like a bigger bicep can help some people. A strong bicep is never going to
strong
be a weak.
bicep. Yeah, yeah. I'm
Like a
not so
bigger
worried about the
bicep may
size of
hit.
it, just the strength.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
See, you know what's weird about me though is ever since I got really fixated on getting stronger, and this was about, I don't know, about 3.5 months ago, it's been like a pound a day I've gained. And it's like I haven't changed my diet. I'm eating fairly clean, like even
yeah.
though I look big and fat. But I mean, I don't know. I
No,
just
dude.
every day I'm heavier, heavier, heavier. And it seems like the stronger I get and the more healthy I feel, the heavier I am. And it
Yeah,
sucks because I've always sat around heavy and I finally got my weight down with Sandra's, but I didn't
yeah,
feel strong. I felt weak. I felt
yeah,
diminished. I felt sore. Now I'm filling out and I'm working out hard and I'm not really taking in more calories. And I'm gaining a pound a day. It's almost every day like clockwork, a pound a day. I've gained
yeah.
for like 3 months. So I
Fuck,
don't
that's wild.
understand it. It might just be my body type. Like, I don't know. I have
No,
never
man,
really researched it.
it's a combination of everything. Like your body's gonna hold more water because it's healing things.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and I don't really think anybody understands that. Like, how is it possible that I can go to bed at 268 and wake up at 258?
Mhm.
Or like wake up at 260 and go to bed at 268? Like, I didn't fucking eat 8 pounds of fucking food today. Like, what the
Yeah, yeah.
fuck is going on? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
So like, and in all honesty, dude, fucking who gives a shit about the scale? If you're feeling better, just
Yeah.
go with it.
Yeah.
As
That's
long
what
as
I've
you're
been doing.
sleeping good, you can sleep good.
Yeah.
You're eating good food. You're drinking lots of water, and you feel good.
Yeah. Well, see,
Your
that's the
blood
thing.
pressure.
It was my sleep. It was my sleep because I got my hormones all screwed up in the winter because I was
Yeah,
letting my pharmacist give me my TRT. And
yeah,
he mixed me up with some other dude and he was giving me like 1 point something milliliters a week, and I'm like, I'm not, like I thought I was getting 0.5, right, mils a week, right? He's
yeah,
giving me 1.2 or 1.3 milliliters. And I'm like, I'm not on a cycle here, man. Like, and I found out like 6 months later because I don't do blood work. That's hard for us. So my
Yeah.
estrogen, I finally got it, and I was having night sweats and like it was bad, buddy. And my estrogen was like 145. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? And my testosterone, even though he was jamming me with all this shit, it was like 6.9. It was like,
Yeah.
why is my numbers all fucked, right? And then I found out, and then now I do my own injections, and I do it every third day, right? Instead of once a week. And now my
Yeah.
number's like a 22, and it's like a 40 on the estradiol.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
you're
but now
not,
I'm
and you're no
sleeping. Now I'm
longer,
sleeping. Yeah,
you're
yeah.
no longer crying during Disney movies.
Oh, buddy, it was bad, man. It was bad. Yeah, when I was in Hinton at Battle Zone, that's when I was going through it. I didn't sleep the night before.
Yeah.
I think I was going 3 days without sleeping because I'd just be sweating and with anxiety trying to go to bed at night. So, like,
Yeah.
yeah, anybody out there, if you're playing with make sure you know what I mean. You got access to blood work and stuff because
Yeah.
you can get really screwed up bad, man. I can tell you.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I had a wicked
Bye to
doctor.
you guys. I got to head out here. I got to go eat some food.
Oh, okay, brother.
It's good talking to you guys, and freaking yeah, I can't wait to hear more about the shell shock when we get some confirmation.
Yeah.
Matches.
Oh yeah, we'll
man.
do
We'll
that.
get it.
Actually, I'll probably do a conference call with you and Dakota, and we'll talk about it too a little bit.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, brother. You have a good night.
Thanks,
See you,
Josh.
dude.
Peace
Hey,
out, guys.
have a good night.
Yeah. So yeah, in a nutshell, I mean, we covered everything tonight. Why not, eh?
Right? Whatever, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Finally,
But I mean,
finally,
lastly,
Dakota leaves and my phone keeps working.
yeah, I know. Well, it's every time he wanted you to talk highly of him, you would chop out and disappear. I'm like, Dakota, it's enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, but
In
Dakota's
all
come a long
honesty,
way this year.
man, dude, I can't say enough good things about him. He fucking puts in the work. He goes to every club. He helps people. He does work. He comes out. He accepts when you're trying to give him knowledge,
Yeah.
and like he just like takes those little pieces from everybody and puts them together.
Yeah.
And his progression in the last year and a bit has just been awesome.
Yeah, I've noticed that everybody around us, I've just felt everybody just kind of, and it might be that community, like our close knit community, because we're all just turning into beasts. Like,
Yeah, man. And like this like surge in Ukrainians that come was the best thing ever, right? Because like
Yeah.
it just brought that level up a bit more. It brought more knowledge to the sport. Like I can't remember his name, but that dude down in Medicine Hat is just pumping out.
Eugene. Yeah.
Eugene is just doing wonders down there, man. Like
Yeah.
that dude's pumping out savages.
Yeah, yeah, and I seen it with Sergey. Sergey's like come like I first watched Sergey. He was like, your mediocre puller. That guy's a killer now. Like he's come like just
Yeah.
blew up. I mean, it's still on Sergey. His training is hard out, right? But when you got the right people, you know what I mean, kind of poking you and sending you in the right direction. I mean, that
keeping those bad habits away.
Yeah.
Keeping the bad habits out, right?
Yeah, the bad habits. Yeah. Because we tend to think that, this shortcut is I'm gonna do the same thing, but look, I'm doing half the effort. No, it's not. We're just fooling ourselves, right? When we do shit like that. So
Oh, for sure. And like I can't remember his name, but I think it's Bubs out of Calgary, like a smaller dude.
Gubbs?
That dude's strong.
Yeah,
Gubbs.
He moved. He ended up moving to Chicago.
Oh, that dude was a unit.
Oh, I know. Listen, I didn't even like pinning him, I couldn't let the little guy beat me, right? So, and I had to sometimes I had to really hurt my arm, like really that tricep. I remember just pushing through him because I'm like, I'm not letting a 150-pound guy beat me. You know what I mean? So,
You know who else is like a really good guy I like watching and I've met now at a few different tournaments? The boys that come from BC, like those boys that come down from Prince George, like Stubbs.
Yeah.
And those guys. That Stubbs guy gets stronger and stronger and stronger every time I
every
bowl with
single
him.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's just awesome to see these guys in Western Canada, all Canada, really. Everybody's stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, I really like to start launching these. Like I brought up on the groups there. I said I wanted to see Alberta versus Ontario, but when I said that, all I really meant was is that I want to see province versus province. Like, I
Yeah,
used us as an example, and I actually offended a bunch of people. They were like, "Hey, what about Quebec?" And or what about, and I'm like,
man,
exactly. This is what I'm talking about.
cannot leave out Quebec because
Yeah.
like
Oh, they got
the
killers there,
monsters,
man. Yeah,
and the monsters that hide under the stairs there
I
are
know.
just it's the same with the strength world because like
Yeah.
they don't like leaving Quebec very much, or a lot of them in the strongman community can't leave Quebec.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So like they're like they have their own issues going on where they can't leave the province. So when there's an event in Quebec, you're like, who the fuck are these dudes? Like, what the fuck is
Right.
this? Right.
And they got killers everywhere there in every
Yeah,
strength
man.
sport. I know.
Yeah, and then you got the boys out in Nova Scotia, like
Yeah.
Kenny, and like like Kenny's awesome, dude. He's
And
wicked puller.
good. He's amazing. He's really
Yeah,
good.
I should
He's not
message
that heavy
Kenny.
either, man. He's like 230. Yeah.
Yeah, I should. I wonder how Kenny's left's feeling. That might be a good match for your buddy in Calgary.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. No, no, I don't think so. I know
No,
it sounds ignorant, but I think not even close. Yeah.
no,
No, just because I mean Ty told me that Kenny was so connected, but even Ty flashed him on the one round, right? With
yeah.
a and Ty and his I don't know. Maybe. You know what? I wouldn't put nothing past Kenny though, because you know what? The first time I seen him, I thought Len was gonna destroy him. And when he caught Len and then just I was like, whoa. And I mean to do that at that body weight, right? With Len
Well,
Hout diving on your arm.
I tell you right now, there's not a lot of people catching Len Houghton right now
No, his
because
hit is crazy.
when I felt him at Hinton was complete night and day difference from the year before. So
Yeah.
like I caught him the year before and like I could not catch this, but like when we were getting the setup,
Yeah.
Len's so good at the setup, like right before the go, he got that little bit in
A
his
little
wrist.
bit. Yeah, it was.
And that was just like the hugest difference, hugest
Yeah,
difference.
yeah.
But
And you
like
gotta stop him. You gotta stop him somewhere good, or you're just gonna get it, right?
and that's like a lot of people forget about Big J.
Yeah.
Like me and Jay Hagen have known each other for years. That dude like trains and trains and trains and trains and trains. So like
He needs to
there's
be
lots of
we gotta get these guys active is what we gotta do
yeah.
though. It's like even Caleb. I put Caleb's left in the top 10 in Canada for sure.
Oh, easy.
Maybe and
Easy.
maybe top 5. I don't know. But like the thing is,
It'd be close.
gotta get him
Top
pulling. I gotta get him pulling, man. Gotta get him pulling.
yeah, but Caleb's young too.
He is.
Right?
He
Caleb
is.
he's
Yeah.
living life and like doing
He's
his
25.
thing.
I think he's 25.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
But I
that was
mean,
the same thing with Mason. Like Mason gets asked to do a lot of big things. But like last thing Mason needs right now, like he's in his second or third year of instrumentation doing trade school.
yeah,
Last thing he needs to do right now is blow himself up. Right.
yeah,
Like so,
that's true.
like Scott's awesome.
Gods?
Like those guys,
Oh yeah.
yeah. And like Scott, like he keeps Mason, like they talk, they do everything together, they train
We
together.
got a club now
And
too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if that's a
I,
place you want to learn some technical shit, that's where you go.
that's White Court, right? A White Court club.
Yeah, it's just like they live. I think it's like 8 or 9 kilometers past Mayerthorpe on the way to Whitecourt.
Yeah, yeah. You know who's a beast out at White Court is Mike Rooney.
I don't know him.
Well, I do because I had to pull him. He did yeah, he beat Mason. I think he beat Mason, but Mason had a war before that. But he beat him at the Black Balls tournament. And last year. But I popped his elbow in the Masters. Like he actually popped his elbow and he kept pulling, and then he pulled was it Joe Fox? I don't know who he pulled, but he pulled his groin and he was black and blue from his stomach all the way to his nutsack. And then he kept pulling and he beat everybody. He won the class. Joe Fox was in the class, Mason DeRossi. But anyway, the guy I flashed him, had him an inch from the pad, and he just went poof, and then went and dragged me right across the table and pinned me. I was like, whoa, like that guy, he's a prison guard or something like that, but he's got a serious arm on him. Yeah, he's in White Court. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's in White Court.
I might have to reach out with him and go do some. Yeah, I might have to reach out and go train with him a bit.
Well, he has to go up against Joe, I think. He got the number one contender. I know that he won.
Yeah, because I think Joe and Curtis are going at it this month, aren't they?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'll be a
Yeah.
good match.
And I might have a match. It's not confirmed. They haven't said yeah, but Uncle John confirmed it with me. So I might be pulling Uncle John right-handed.
Ooh,
I know.
that'll
I
be
know. How'd I get that
yeah.
one, eh? Fuck. Well, I didn't get it yet,
And-
but I'm hoping to get it. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I can't see why not.
Yeah. What did he say? For Greg Deneen, not even close. Yeah. Sean said not even close for Greg Deneen, Kenny.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Sean got the luxury of pulling
Sean knows.
Greg recently. Yeah.
Yeah.
And his left, I'm telling you right now, you feel like a fucking baby. Like I felt like a child grip. Like that's how strong this guy is on the left. I'm not lying.
Yeah, but like if it's who I think it is, he looks like a strong dude anyways. You know what I mean?
He
Like
is,
he
he
doesn't
is.
look like he just walked off the street one day and started arm wrestling.
Well, I know some stuff about him, and he's a strong dude. Believe me. Yeah,
Yeah.
not gonna
Yeah,
say it
no,
on here, but yeah, yeah.
yeah, no,
And
for sure.
and he had his right's done though, because he detached his right bicep just recently, and now he's got PTSD. He won't pull with the right. So,
And it was hard. Like I remember my first match back was actually against Sean at Hinton.
yeah,
And he beat me, and I'm like, "Whoa, fuck! Like, what is going on?" And like, I really needed to step back and get my head back in the game. And then I think I came back and placed second, but like, it was like I was freaked out. And even to this day, I pull left, like, so my left pec has like nothing here,
okay,
and like, so it's really hard for me to stay in like this.
inside,
But I'll pull left. I'll pull left, and I know I'm going to get my ass kicked. I don't care about losing anymore. It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't know.
But what it does is it gets my fucking head in the game
Yeah,
for
you're right.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I should
Yeah.
start doing that, because my left is so uncoordinated, so I don't pull much with it. Yeah, but how am I going to get coordinated anyway, right?
Yeah, so I just pull it. Like I know I'm gonna get my ass handed to me. I really don't care. And if I grip up with someone against Caleb, I'll add a little bit resistance and try to get like a little bit of a hit.
Yeah,
But like I know I'm just gonna go this way because like I know I'm not pulling through Caleb's left or Sean's left or anyone's left. So like why would I risk it? But like it just gets you in the zone for the rights. And like it does get you table time on your left. And now my left is starting to feel a ton better.
Yeah,
Just in different places.
Yeah, see, I always got it in my head, like, if I competed left and I got crushed, it might ruin my spirits on my right. Like, you know what I mean? But I think I was approaching it wrong, right? So,
but yeah, so if you look at it like I'm a pull, and like if I feel someone's hand and I feel like I can get some work in, I'll do some work. But like if I grab onto someone like Sean or like Caleb or like fucking Jay, I'm gonna put resistance, but like I'm not gonna I'm gonna go with them.
I know what you mean.
But if you can get it out of your head that like losing's a bad thing, when all you're there to do is like get some work on your arm and get your head in the game for the right hands.
Yeah.
It helps me a ton. Because my previous relationship, not being in a relationship now, my ex was like so supportive. Like you could always hear her screaming, you could always hear her yelling. And like when you don't have that anymore, plus you have your PTSD from your bicep detachment, it's just like you got to come up with a whole new game plan. And like this is what I find has been working for me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's gotta be a real thing, like, so you have something that traumatic happen to your arm, and you think to yourself, well, I wouldn't want it. What if it happened again? You know what I mean?
Right.
Do I have enough tendon to reattach? You know what I mean? Stuff like that, right?
It'd be like one of the Houghton boys broke, but in both his
both his arms within 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, like those kids are savages. Like I love them. Family, the Houghton family is like one of my favorite families.
Oh, I love them. I support them 100%.
Like when they're doing,
I'm chief ref of Iron Core League now, and I'm proud. Yeah, I'm proud.
Yeah. No, they're such a welcoming club. I love that. Like me and Mike.
Oh, Mike, we talk. He's gonna be out tomorrow somewhere. He's near Pinoca tomorrow. I think he wants to do an outdoor practice. Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty sure. Yeah, I think I might. If he's out there and he says he's going to put a table in the truck, so he's going to have an arm wrestling table with him. So I don't know. Yeah, it's still far from you though, Pinoca, right? Yeah, it's like 2 hours.
It's like an hour and a half or something. Depends on how you drive, really.
Yeah, but
it's the old
good to get out there. When do you guys have regular practices?
They're usually Wednesday nights.
Wednesday nights.
But
Okay.
now that like summer's kind of coming to an end and like family people are getting their life back in schedule with school and stuff,
Yeah.
we'll probably kick her up to 2 practices a week.
Okay.
Because like what we like to do, like what I would like to do is like have a practice where it's like slow
Drill
pulling and
work.
like
Yeah.
drill work and just like working on other people's weaknesses and helping each other.
Yep.
And then another practice which involves like weights to recover from that stuff.
Yeah.
And then some hit training.
Yeah, that's the proper way to practice. You know, like I stopped pinning people at practice. I don't pin people
Yeah.
anymore. No, I'll take them, but then I'll be
Yeah.
like, and then we'll go back to center. We'll work on it again. Or if we're working on inside, we'll start like slow and we'll just together start ramping it up. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
where we're, 90% load, right?
Yeah.
I much rather do the slow ease into it pulling, and I found that I recover faster and I'm not beat up forever after practice either. Right.
Yeah, because like it used to get to the point where I would grip up with someone in my fucking hand, my arm would shake because of the adrenaline and the tightness.
Yeah. And then you feel
Like-
like you're competing in practice. I hate that too, though, now, right?
So now, like with the slow pulling, it doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
I don't do that. Like I can sit in a single spot on the table, flex every muscle in my arm,
Yeah.
and my hand's still not even holding a full grip, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's just it's done wonders for the guys in the club. Like when Dakota said that, like we got a couple sleepers, man. We got a couple sleepers that like they have no interest in competing. They just show up because it's a disconnect, but they're
It's
just
fun.
mute,
Wow.
just so strong.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that Kyle guy that I was telling you about, Kyle Nelson, like he's a heavy duty mechanic, flipped tires for a living for years. But when he gets into something, he takes it extremely serious. So like he's into arm wrestling. And when he's done moving into his new house, like he's gonna really ramp up stuff. But he's a 175-pound dude with a super heavyweight hand. And when I say like I don't say that lightly, and like it's nothing for him to do single arm hangs with just his fingertips.
Crazy.
And like
heavy duty
like
mechanic though, that says it right there.
yeah. And like when he was sledding, like he was a pro level sledder. When he was like in a street bike, he was a pro level street. Like whenever he does something, he does it fully committed to it. Yeah. And he just like real I was getting my tires changed on my work truck one day and I'm like looking at this dude's hands and I'm like, holy fuck. I'm like, you ever think about arm wrestling, dude? And he's just like, no, that's a thing? And I'm like, yeah, you should come out Wednesday night. And he came out instantly hooked. Instantly hooked. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, okay, well, we'll see. I'm gonna probably go to Zach went for food and I'm starving. I just got back from Three Hills when my daughter moved in with her boyfriend Jared. So
yeah,
it's kind of weird. Yeah, kind of weird dropping off your daughter.
Yeah, a little cry on the way home. And
yeah, a little one. yeah. But I'm like, I get to talk about arm wrestling now, so I can get over
right. You got the threatening of the boyfriend out of the way. And then...
you know what sucks is he's a good training partner, right? Jared Freeman. He's actually
nice.
He's actually really good. He's a really good arm wrestler.
And the thing with Jared is like you don't even have to worry about it because like I'm pretty sure he's the embodiment of like the nicest human ever.
He is. You know where he works?
Where?
A honey factory.
What?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Yeah, like him and his brother, him and Jaden are like the nicest people ever.
I know. It suits him though, right? But I think I was like, is this a front? You're the nicest guy that I've met. And then you tell me you work in a honey factory.
Right.
Oh man, like you're you're a secret psychopath or something like
right. The same thing. So like I have one athlete, Sam Rissling, he's out of Regina, he's a strong man. And like to meet him, the nicest human. He's a fucking like he's a kindergarten teacher for like handicapped children. He adopted like 2 little black kids who are just like the most amazing smart children you'll ever meet in your life. And I'm like, dude, like stop making us all look bad. Like I do lots of like troubled youth work and stuff like that. Like I have a troubled youth program and I let like homeschool parents bring their kids to the gym for gym class and stuff like that. But like when I'm around Sam, I'm just like, fuck, like stop that. You're making this like that.
Yeah, I know. I can't talk to anybody.
Right. But anyways, dude, it was awesome. Sorry about the beginning with the shoddiness.
Okay. That's okay.
No, shock, I think good. And then we need to start doing like more stuff like that where it's like maybe it's not like cross competing isn't really an option because of what happened in the strongman thing, where like
Yeah.
they took the arm wrestling champion and the strongman champion. Well, the arm wrestler snapped the fucking strongman's arm, right? Like,
Yeah.
and that was like back in the
Magnus.
90s, like that. So like
Yeah,
you
that
can't
was
really,
yeah. Magnus Samuelson, I think.
yeah. So you
He's the
can't
one who
really,
snapped the other guy's arm, though, I think.
yeah. And like, so you can't really do the cross competing, but we can do cross competing in events where
Yeah.
like you're not cross competing, but the events correlate together. And it just brings more eyes, different hands. Maybe someone's going to be like, maybe this is for them instead of powerlifting. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
maybe like they're me and they're riddled with injuries. So like arm wrestling was a more viable option.
Yeah. No,
And so
exactly.
like, yeah, and the more people we can get into it, the better the community's going to get.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's good if the communities come together too, right? Because I mean, we should all be building us. All of us should be building each other up, right? Like,
Right.
I don't like seeing all this chat going on the about arm wrestling and bands and all this crap. And Dakota was right. We were talking about it earlier, and we're going to try to stay neutral and out of it. But I think as promoters and everything else, I think anybody that's willing to put their time and effort into bettering strength sports, we need to just back them no matter what. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Because no matter what, someone's bringing a form of knowledge of some sort, whether
Yeah.
it's rehabilitation, getting stronger, fixing this, fixing that, fixing this. Everybody needs to work together, and like
Yeah.
so like, it's not just in arm wrestling, dude. It's in
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah.
And like it was like my main goal. Like when I started powerlifting, nobody really knew about it, and I had these wicked coaches out of Regina where I called them. It was like the only powerlifting gym on Google, and I'm like, hey, I want to fly there for 2 weeks and learn how to powerlift. And they're like, are you fucking crazy? I'm like, nope, not at all. But like
Yeah.
nobody does it. And when
Yeah.
I was there, he was just like straight up. He's like, dude, powerlifting in Canada is a shit show. There's only like 2 or 3 big events a year. If you want to change it, you got to be the person that changes it. And they
Yeah.
kind of like chuckled, and like everyone was like, oh, he's not going to open a gym. Well,
Yeah.
fuck, I opened a gym.
Yeah.
And then Misfit started, and then I started hosting events, and then we fucking like pretty much sponsored every single event in Western Canada for like 5 years straight.
Yeah.
And we just helped rebuild it. I'm not gonna say that we built it because like that'd be ignorant, but like we were a standing foundation of how strength sports escalated in Western Canada.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, anybody watching, you want to see a good show, come to Shell Shock. It sounds like we're gonna have some matches. I'm pretty sure we're gonna be able to work this out. And I don't know, like when is it? October 5th and 6th, right? The whole weekend.
October 5th and 6th
Okay.
at Evolve North in Edmonton. So Evolve North is like a 20,000 square foot facility. We rent it out. There's more than enough stuff. Another thing I've noticed with tournaments is I'd like to see a little bit more warm up tables for guys to warm up instead of going in cold.
Yeah, just
But
dry.
this
Yeah.
facility was like weights and like every fucking weight you can imagine, bands, chains. I'll
Yeah.
bring my tables. Like we'll be pulling on a Mazarenko pulled like a professional table. It's actually the table that Dennis and Devin pulled on for the first time.
Oh, sweet. Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's what I mean. So how can we not make these matches there when the tables are
Yeah.
provided? You said you got streaming service provided already. Commentary. I mean, it's done. We just need the athletes. So
Yep, photographers, videographers, everything's there. Afterwards, the photographer takes pictures. He puts them up. If you like them, you just pay for them. They're not that expensive,
yeah,
but it covers the photographer fees and like all that stuff.
that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, well, that's something I'll check out and I'll probably purchase myself.
Yeah, and like the photographer is out of Calgary because like when you're coming into Calgary on the north side, there's a gym called the Strength Edge, and like there's some mutants up in that place, dude. Like mutants. Like if you want a place to train where you want to be around like-minded athletes that'll help you any way they can, that place is wild. Like you got guys squatting 1,000 pounds, you got guys deadlifting in the mid 900s, you got like dudes that are top 3 all time in the world at what they do.
Yeah. Right here.
Right there, right in Calgary on the north side.
Crazy. I know, because you hear these numbers and it's like, really? You got to get these guys there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like Brad Shepard's from Red Deer. He's a prison guard in Bowden, and like last year he squatted 1,004 pounds. and he made it into the animal cage. So like for any strength athlete in the world, if you don't know what the animal cage is, like that's like the pinnacle. Like it may not be an event, but when you get to the animal cage, like that's everything to a strength athlete because it happens at the Arnold. And it's literally a cage that Animal Nutrition just sets up in the middle of everything, and they just pull freaks from all over to do unorthodox lifts and crazy lifts and do this wild shit.
Wow.
So like he was able to hit his thousand.
Yeah, I'm almost done. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, sorry, man. I'll keep talking. So
Oh, it's okay. I will too. And I want to promote your event huge. And this is like hyping me up where I'm like, maybe I can get back in shape and be a master power lifter. Yeah. Never too old. Yeah.
No, man, you're never too old. Like we got guys in our 60s, in their 60s and late 50s, like just starting. Like I got a gym member who's 53 and he went from a 600-pound total to a 900-pound total in 6 months.
Wow.
Right. So like
even at that age, see?
yeah, and he just like loves it. He loves and it's not even about the lifting, but doing
camaraderie.
something, like getting out of the house, right?
Yeah. It's just like arm wrestling, right? Like the first day I arm wrestled, I was hooked. That was it. The love was too strong, man.
I was instantly hooked.
Yeah.
Like not the pun either. Like I was instantly drawn towards it.
Yeah.
Like you're tied to another monster human, and the people were so. I remember my very first event was with Perry and Hinton, and Len Houghton came up to me, and I didn't know who he was, and then he just like talked to me like he had known me for years.
Yeah.
And like I have so much respect for that dude because I remember it got to a point where he literally walked up to me and he's just like, "You really need to start taking this seriously."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Say no more." And that's when I started taking it seriously.
He helped me in my last match. So even though I was pissed at him because I could have bet the guy $2,000. So Chuck wanted to go $2,000 on the bet, right? And then Len got a hold of me. He's like, Brian, I pulled him. He's hit serious. And he goes, you better be ready. Like, I don't know. Like, are you ready now? Like, are you leveled up? Because he didn't know where I was. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna crush him, right? And then I was thinking after, I'm like, oh fuck. And then I was like, maybe we should go 250. I go 250 US, right? Because I was like, also my confidence went, but I actually thank Len because you know what I did? I trained harder than ever, right? Thinking that I was going to get crushed by this guy or I wouldn't be able to catch his hit. And if it wasn't for Len saying that shit to me, I would have just done what I did every other time. And I actually discovered a whole new way now to prep for a match, and it works really well. Like my deload's different now and it's better and everything's better. And I wouldn't even have cared if it wasn't for Len telling me to take this guy serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think Len's touched so many people in Alberta that like he doesn't get near enough credit that he deserves.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Oh, for sure. But okay, brother. Well, we're gonna have to get it together soon. I'll keep talking to you. I'll get you to do that insurance stuff. Hook me up with that. And I got a few other questions I'll send to you, but we'll do that off air. And I just want to thank you for coming on, bro. I appreciate it.
Oh man, thanks for having me. I love doing this shit. I love seeing people get stronger. It's like a passion of mine. So if I can help anybody or anybody's out in Drayton Valley area and ever wants to pull, I'm always open to pull. It don't matter.
Hit up Josh Devoe, Drayton Valley. And and thanks for giving us an opportunity with these matches. Hopefully everything works out. And
man. Hopefully we can lead it into a bigger event. Because eventually I would like to see the events where people pre-sign up so the promoters have a better time of setting things up.
Yeah. And
then you can set out the tournament fucking staggering so you can start training for the tournament and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it just gives us promoters more of a chance to like get shirts, get medals, because like if you show up the day of, all that shit's coming out of our pocket.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm the one that has to put up the thousands and thousands of dollars for you to have a shirt that says your name on it. And the medals and everything else that goes in. But like if we have it where it's set up and people prepay, we can put on way better events.
You get like 60% prepay. Now you have money to work with to better the pricing and better the quality of the production. And then you're still going to have that overflow of what the event brings for revenue when the time comes too, right? So
good times.
It's all around. Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
for sure.
All right, dude.